Greetings and good day, YouTube and Twitch highlight watchers. How are you doing today? I myself am pretty excited to continue where we last left off in our Minecraft mega build world. Oh, also I'm realizing something. Hold up. Audio capture might go away for a moment just in case. Because I realize I can close out a couple of things to make that run smoother. Hold up. Anyways, we're pretty much going to go over a lot of the conversations and the subjects of topic we went over while playing through Grand Theft Auto, because there are some of you that might only watch this Minecraft aspect of things, or you might skip out on the Grand Theft Auto videos or what have you. So I kind of like trying to use Minecraft as less of like, hey, come here because of Minecraft, and more, hey, come here to listen to me ramble while playing Minecraft. That's kind of what I look at the start of Monday streams. So like, it helps me better schedule out what games I want to play in the future, because like I said, it always is subject to change. I might not want to play whatever game in the future, or I might not want to even stream for as long as I normally do for one reason or another, right? That's why I'm always like, hey, this is what I plan to do, but things can change. That happens all the time. You guys can't hear the beat right now, my apologies, but like I said, I'm doing that just in case, because sometimes when you close out of a tab, it'll play another tab. Anyway, so to start off with, I think last week I was talking about the vote of, or for the recreational use of marijuana being legalized. I talked about that last week, I believe. So this week I get to talk about how the bill passed, it went through, so it will be legally, you'll legally be able to smoke. Mind you, there are obvious rules, regulations, and stuff like that in place, just like there is with alcohol, right? Anyway, December 7th is when that will officially be written into law. It is already legally medical, or medically legally, whatever. Medically legal to smoke marijuana already. Now it's just being pushed up to recreational. It's funny because a lot of the times you'll come across a vote for that kind of stuff, and you always see commercials or advertising that's like, it's bad in this way, it's bad in that way. Well, you could take anything and make it bad. Just look at what they did with rock music, right? Or any type of music that was like not what was supposed to be fine. You can take any idea, any concept, and flip it around. Just like you're not supposed to drink a full bottle of whiskey and then go drive. I wouldn't recommend taking a puff and then go drive. You don't do that. No driving under the influence. No operating a motor vehicle while under the influence. None of that. I won't have that. I won't have that in my kingdom. This is, you know who kingdom this is? This is my kingdom. And yes, the accent is necessary. I've heard that accent before. You know how fast you're going? My town. That's right, you're going 5 over. I don't care. I don't care. That might be what they do up there, but up yonder, what we do over here, You go 5 over, you're going over the speed limit. Watch yourself. You're in my town now. One of those types of cops. It's like, man, you're the person that needs to get a lot more training. And a fucking psyche valve. There we go, finally, jeez. Well, greetings, good day, relatives. How are you doing today? Hey, I cannot control what you say exactly here. I have to moderate what you say, and all I'm gonna say is don't do that again. You're lucky something bad didn't happen, because while you are under the influence, you're not as aware as you think you are. Right? You're a bit delayed. Just like look at me when I'm medicated versus when I'm not medicated playing a game, right? Still, it's just like, it's the same concept as when you drink a beer or like a single shot or something, which even then, but still, a single shot and then drive home. You're tipsy, you're not drunk, right? Like, you are still coherent, but that's still not safe to drive at, even though it's like, all right, I get that you're not going to be able to stop that kind of stuff, which is the unfortunate part, right? As long as substances like alcohol and marijuana and anything like that will be looked at and just like, okay, yeah, people are allowed to do this, but they need to do it in a way that doesn't make them a danger to other individuals or themselves, right? Understandable. And I agree that there are certain substances that even taking any of said substance would make them a danger, right? There are certain things that I'm like, okay, I agree with that being like that. What is up?
Do not use if you have severe allergies or a history of severe allergic reactions, or if you are allergic to lidocaine or the proteins used in Juvederm. Tell your doctor if you have a
good game?
scarring or taking medicines that decrease the body's immune response.
But no, it's like, it is what it is, you know?
Redness, swelling, pain, tenderness, firmness, lumps, bumps, bruising, discoloration, or itching. As with all gel fillers, there's a rare risk of unintentional injection into a blood vessel, which can cause vision abnormalities, blindness, stroke, temporary scabs, or scarring. For full important safety information, visit www.juvederm.com.
What the fuck? What the fuck is that for? Well, different locations will feel that it's like there's different levels for reliability. And if you break it down, that is true based on what you drink, how you drink, and like kind of how society is. Which is weird to say, but like, take a society of individuals that have never drank any alcohol and give them like a White Claw. Give them a White Claw. And they've never taken a drink of alcohol in their life, or their parents or their grandparents. And they'll probably be fucking like fucked up type of a thing, right? And then you take someone who like drinks a couple beers a day or every other day, and you give them a White Claw, and I'm like, what the fuck is this, water? Give me another pack. A White Claw is like, it's, from my perspective and in my experience, I would call it flavored water of alcohol. It's got alcohol in it, but it's got less alcohol than a beer. Right? This isn't exactly it, but it's basically like, I can drink 2 White Claws, and I've drank a little bit more than your average beer in terms of alcohol content. Are we good? We look good. Looks clear. You said it's clear. No, I said it looks clear. But how does it look now? Looks clear. Oh shit. Anyways, I gotta bring up the thing that I wrote down, because what I'm gonna be doing, or what I'm gonna try to focus on today in Minecraft is finishing up the wall, right? But after that, if I don't have anything to do, I'm going to work on the quarry, and that is going to be a bit annoying, right? Probably won't get to the quarry today, but the next time I stream we'll be doing quarry work, so a lot of talking. Ah, shit. I don't know why I did that. That would be a hell of a category. %. I mean, it'd be a hell of a category to run, right? It would definitely be one of those, what do they call it? There's certain types of categories that are like meme category. It'll be a meme run type of category, right? Like it is a legitimate speed run, but everyone knows it's like not to be taken too seriously. No. Yeah, because then we have to do that. And it looks weird. It might look a little weird, but it actually makes sense to how the pattern's supposed to go. And then it goes like that, and then from there to there to there. I would have to do it like this then. Stairs I actually have to double up on, I think. The way that the stairs are going to work, I'm going to have to double up on it. That's fine. It'll work out. And I will say, speaking from experience, that shit, like... Playing a game while you're sober, straight, right? No alcohol, no nothing, is vastly different than if you medicate beforehand. Again, stairs, so we have to do this for stairs. We have to double up, because if we don't double up, when we place the stairs down, it's going to be lower than you think it is. Like, I like doing stuff like this without using, like, creative mode. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, right? Because if we had stairs here, we'd be able to go there. We can't do that. Yep, that's the perfect example of what I was talking about. Why I have to do it, double up like that.
Discover Cashback Debit. We give everyone cashback on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback.
That's a weird
Debit,
commercial.
checking account with cashback. It pays to Discover.
What even would that
Terms at discover.com/cashback.
food thing be?
Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Wait.
A few $1,000s that you could sink an 8-foot putt? What about 10 grand that you could win a drag race against a Camaro with 1,000 horsepower? If you bet $2 million, could you bet it all on one football game? Maybe you wish you could, but you probably wouldn't. Gamblers.
Yeah, maybe.
Did. From Spotify and the Ringer Podcast Network comes.
This one's gonna look a
Season
bit
2.
off.
Listen now.
Well, it kind of has to look a bit off, because think about what it... Yeah, okay. That'll work just fine. And that would make sense to do something like that here. Nope, fuck. Well, if you can do that, that's not good. Could keep it. We could keep it. Be a smartass, but perfect. I'll have to do some smoothing around the stairs to make it look better. Make it look like it flows on a straight level instead of waves a little bit. It feels weird, but I'll have to go back and fix it up. Alright, so talked about that. Oh, also, when this first started, right? When the legalization stuff first happened, this was like a couple hours before Grand Theft Auto got officially leaked. Grand Theft Auto 6. And when I say officially leaked, this is going to sound weird, but I mean in the sense that we got confirmation from Rockstar themselves that they were going to be showing a trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 early December, right? And after talking over the stream week while playing Grand Theft Auto, came to the conclusion that... Hold on. We came to the conclusion that early December was like a little bit lower. It might be too low for you all to hear, but it's too loud for me. So I might have lowered the music a bit too much. My apologies if I have, but it's too loud for me right now. Anyway. I came up with a joke that like, oh damn. I'd like to apologize on behalf of Ohio because for whatever reason, they couldn't release Grand Theft Auto 6 because until Ohio legalized, they couldn't make the joke they were trying to make. It's a stupid joke, at least from my perspective it is. But it's always one of those things about like, in some way, shape, or form, wait, it was Ohio's fault? Astronaut with the pistol on the other astronaut. Always was, you know, that meme. And I really don't, like, I get there's some crazy shit that has happened in Ohio, but like, there's a lot of crazy shit that has happened in a lot of different states too. What is it? It's like Texas, Florida, Ohio, and Michigan, I think, are like the most memed about states currently. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd have to look it up and see, but... Oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. I fucking said I didn't want to do that. Fuck. No, this is fine. Fuck it. We'll have something like that. That'll be fine. I'll allow it. It's a fucking castle wall. Imagine they wouldn't have shit like that. Of course they would have shit like that. Hell, they'd have shit like this sometimes too, naturally occurring. Right? Yeah, they would. They would. But I don't like that with what I have going on. So for this build, we're not doing that. We're doing that though instead. And then could I do this? Because if I could do this then. No, not when jumping, right? Because if you're going with stairs, you really shouldn't be jumping no matter what the situation is. Yes, people will still jump, like people will still land here and then jump this if they really had to like do something important, but probably wouldn't be recommended to make a jump like that. It's still seriously fucked up, especially if it had rained. Anyway. Trying to make sure that most of this shit is at least at a point to where I can build up on top of it. Like, we're not quite there yet when it comes to this section here, so we can do this. You cocksucking whore! Okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Okay, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was expecting a fucking hole in the side of my castle.
What are you gonna do in life? It doesn't come with instructions. You do where you go.
Alright, anyway.
Helping you do it? That's what dollar
Outside of that stupid joke,
by listening, by learning, by
I'm really excited to see when exactly the advertisement's going to be happening for Grand Theft Auto 6, alright? Because I'm still sticking with my thought that they never do this, alright? I've come into recent information that Rockstar apparently hasn't really ever announced any big thing of theirs at the Game Awards. So I was listening to a podcast that they were discussing that, and they were talking about how what the smart thing to do would be like release a teaser before doing your own thing, because Rockstar does their own thing. I would hope that they would get the whole trailer, because at that point it's an announcement of an announcement, and all that's really doing is to hype people up more. And you don't really want to be hyping people up more than what they already are, because I can tell you right now there are some people that expectations, no matter what, are not going to be met. Some people are not going to be happy with Grand Theft Auto 6, no matter what, because they put their expectations of the game so high that the game will be unable to reach their expectations. The way I look at this shit is like, alright, we'll get something like a little bit better than, maybe even a lot better than Grand Theft Auto 5. And I like Grand Theft Auto 5, so I like this game too. Like, that's how I look at it. It's not like I have confirmation or whatever. Hell, I'm barely even taking into account the leaks that occurred about the early stage development, because in all honesty, all the leaks really told me, hey, we're working on the game. But people see the leaks, and then they come to this misconcepted conclusion about, oh, this game looks bad. It looks incomplete. No fucking shit, Sherlock. Where's Watson when you need him? Holy shit. Somebody call whoever the hell it is that dealt with the invasion of the body snatchers, because these motherfuckers have not a clue. Anyway. And like, so many people ask so many questions from Ned Luke and is it Sterling? I can't think of the full name of the individual who voice acted for Franklin, but they've done a couple of like interviews and stuff like that, and have teased they're in the game and they're not in the game in the same breath, right? So they're probably under NDAs where they literally cannot talk about it until it's officially announced. But because of the leaks, they can bend the NDA by a lot because there's like, it's real. And we know that it's real. But it's not real yet because we haven't gotten to the point where we're like, it's ready. Like, yeah, exactly. I want it to be fun. And here's the thing. I've had fun with all the Grand Theft Auto games. I can't lie. Right? Even playing through Grand Theft Auto 3 again, and that still being on the lowest end of the list of Grand Theft Autos that I like, I still enjoyed playing that, right? A lot of it had to do with the nostalgia aspect of it, but that's fine. You're allowed to enjoy something because it's nostalgic to you. I mean, for fuck's sake, my favorite game series of all time is Metal Gear Solid, and that is purely because of the bias that I have towards that game, right? That game is fucking amazing. And you are not going to be able to change my mind. Because I'll agree with you, yeah, the controls are bad. You play Metal Gear Solid, and the controls are like, not the best. They frustrate me. Got me a bit ragey in all honesty nowadays, because like, you think about how they have controls and people complain about how brain dead easy some shit is, but if you take them back to when you were playing a game and you were 6, yeah, the controls might be easy, but they're easy in idea, not in practice, right? Oh, do this to have this action be performed. Yeah, well, I do that, and the action that's performed is delayed because of how long the animation is to do what you want it to do. So it's not even worth doing that. Like, that's a lot of shit you got to take into consideration when it comes to making a video game. And a lot of the times they fuck it up, and a lot of the times something fucks it up for them. But like I said, it's really difficult for me to... I need to light that up, I guess. It's really difficult for me to dislike a game depending on circumstances, right? Armageddon. What about Crazy Taxi or Crazy Driver or whatever the hell it's called? What the hell is it called? It's like... I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoy... you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, holy shit, now that I think about it, I've noticed I've talked a lot about in every Grand Theft Auto they've had the ability to do like taxi stuff, taxi missions. And the reason I like it so much is because of me playing that Crazy Taxi game when I was a young warthog, right? Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same as what Crazy Taxi was, and there's really nothing that ever will be the same, right? Because it's that nostalgia. But it's similar enough to where it satisfies me. That's why the one biggest mistake they could possibly make would be taking out the taxi missions. They have had the taxi missions in literally every Grand Theft Auto. Unless that's a spin-off that doesn't have it. Or Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2 might not have it. But since Grand Theft Auto 3 they've had it, and it's something they've had since then. I'm gonna have to put these blocks somewhere because I do want to kind of work on the quarry a little bit. I need regular stone though, and maybe some more lighting. Oh, I wrote this. I wrote other stuff down where like I don't know if this is 100% confirmed or not, but this is something that I, while scrolling through Twitter, saw, and I was like, I'll write this down as a subject to talk about. And that is the fact that apparently Shrek 5 was announced. Right? Shrek 5 was announced. Omegle shut down. The strike for actors is also over. And Attack on Titan ended on the fifth season or whatever it is. Now, mind you, I have not watched Attack on Titan since season 1, so I have no fucking idea what's going on. Right? Not a fucking clue do I know. And I don't want to have a clue because I intend to actually sit down and watch that show with my old man. Because we watched that show season 1, and we enjoyed watching it, right? It was like fucking unique, right? They fucking didn't do what a lot of anime do, and it's like, with the power of plot armor, I could die, I could lose 3 times against an enemy that would normally kill me, and keep going. And then it's like, no, this motherfucker got 8. Like, immediately. Got 8. Damn. I know, right? I didn't know there was a 4th Shrek movie. This one's still like, I don't know exactly what's going on, but so far, this is what's going on with this situation. A couple days ago, Coyote versus Acme, a Warner Brothers movie that they have been working on for the last 3 years and spent $70 million on making, was going to be put in the vault, and it's complete. They completed the project, or they're close to completion, and they're shelving the project without releasing it. Apparently, allegedly, every test audience they showed it to was like hyping up how good the film was. I mentioned this on one of my Grand Theft Auto streams, and I was like, there's got to be something more to it, because if you break it down, they're actually losing money. I thought they were doing it for some bullshit because they would end up like making money, but apparently they're losing money because it costs $70 million, and the insurance is only going to pay out $40 million, I think, or maybe it was $50 million. Regardless, that's a lot of money you're losing, and it doesn't make sense when you're going to do that and lose that much money. And just accept that, like, accept that punch on the shin. Like, everyone's like, oh, we like this movie, and you're not going to put it out there. You know how much you could possibly make if you release it? What's up with that? Right? Fuck off, stupid skeletons. Anyways, outside of that, get your tinfoil hats on moment, you know? Because if you break it down, the reason they could have announced that they were going to vault it is to stir the pot and get people hyped up for something. Like, this could be some wild form of advertising. Because think about how many people are going to watch this movie now. Like, I have no idea. It's basically one of those types of rumors that's like, we heard from this person who might have knowledge about the subject that this is happening. Now, mind you, it's more than likely it's probably is the case, right? More than likely you have a situation where it's like, yes, this is real information. But it's hard for me to accept that because how many times has Grand Theft Auto 6 been trending? You know what I mean? Like, think about that for a minute. Before the official leak of Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be coming out, we got those leaks, all that data that leaked. And there's still some shit that didn't come out with the leaks. Like, there's a lot of information that nobody knows about it because a leak is one of the worst things to happen. Because you have all these people that'll start making conclusions and answers without having the full picture. This could be like the earliest idea of it. Because if you looked at what happened with what's the name of the game? Shit. Run Like Hell, right? If you look at how that game came into existence, they had like several years, 3-4 years or something to work on it, but they kept changing director and stuff like that, and every time they changed director, they'd change the idea of the game. And it went from having one cutter, which is the name of like one of the most common enemies you see, and 2 really tough scouts. Scouts are literally what they send after you when they don't want you to, like, okay, it's pretty easy to kill, so we're gonna send a lot of them after you. I'm gonna have to step away for a moment, so I'm going to play a few minutes of ads. And when I return, we will continue this conversation. Yeah, but after everybody complained about them doing this, all of a sudden, they're bringing it back. We'll let it show in select theaters. We'll let the movie show in select theaters. At least that's how I feel. You know? Something similar happened with Deadpool. Anyways, I'll be right back. But yeah, it does kind of give that air of like marketing, like it feels like you're doing what you're doing to get people hyped up to make more money off of people showing up to watch the movie because you were going to cancel it. Look at what we could have missed out on. It'll probably be a good movie, but it's one of those things where more people will probably like it just because of the story behind it, you know? Also during the Grand Theft Auto streams, I couldn't help myself, and there was a moment in time where the ductwork in the game Grand Theft Auto 5, when you go to the movie theater to do the missions for Solomon, there's some air conditioner set up there, and it is, as my old man said, a clusterfuck. I had to show him, so I brought him up here and introduced him to the stream very casually. Alright. Alright. So me and him were making fun of the HVAC shit for like 10 minutes or something like that. You. This is a robbery. Melon, sugarcane, brown dye, bucket of puffer.
You might even be able to join an aggregated group buying program. Don't want to choose? No problem. You'll still receive natural gas from the approved supplier at Dominion Energy's default. Just visit DominionGasChoice.com.
Told you it was a robbery. He didn't have anything I wanted. You know what they should do? They should make it to where if you do that, he drops one of each item that you can get from him. What else popped up? People are talking about the leaks of Grand Theft Auto more. That primarily, I believe, has to do with the fact that... Hold up. How am I gonna... That has to do more with the fact that, like, hey, this is what to expect from the game. And that's why I'm saying this, even. Because that's not the case at all. Oh, that's right. I need to do it, like... This is going to be a weird double layer type setup thing. This is going to be annoyingly long. Fuck. Okay, I see how to do it now. Got it. Gotta get back into the kingdom. I might keep this open. So we have like a way to get out of the quarry, you know? Like, I also want to try and make it seem a little bit natural, too. Like, I might leave this area unmined to a certain extent. Obviously, to make it look natural, I'm going to have to get rid of this and, like, make, like, floating orbs or something like that. So the kingdom will have that element of, like, magic to it. Like, magical lights to light up the mines. No. But yeah, you can use the leaks to make assumptions, but I'm the type of person that'll be like, to me, to have fun with Grand Theft Auto, it just has to be as good as 4 or 5, right? And when you look at these games with, like, try and take your bias out and look at it as if you were going to recommend a game to anybody, right? Like, how many people out of 10 would enjoy it? 8 out of 10 people, I think. 80% of people who play Grand Theft Auto will really enjoy it. maybe I'm being too harsh or some shit like that, but just bear with me for a minute. Now, you take that concept of reviewing and you look at the leaks and you make sure you understand that the leaks that you see could no longer exist when the game releases, right? Like, just because this is like pre-planning stage shit you're seeing doesn't mean that's what it's going to be at the end. Because if you look at something like the Frozen movies, right? Originally, Anna and Elsa were not going to be related. You can look at anything early on and make assumptions. That does not mean that that's what the end result is going to be. Now, with that in mind, using the leaks to go, all right, what could we expect to see from Grand Theft Auto 6 because of what we have seen in Grand Theft Auto 5 and previous installments of the series, right? This is going to be weird, but it's going to work out in the end. And you can look at all the Grand Theft Autos and objectively, I think, basically it's where, like, I don't think there are many people out there that could disagree with me. I don't think there are really any people that can disagree when I say there are certain things that are improved in every Grand Theft Auto, right? Maybe Grand Theft Auto 4 is your favorite. Whatever. Right? Ah, shit, I just fucked up. Oh well. It's supposed to go like this. I can do something with this, like fill this in with dirt, which that's what I think I'm going to do. I have to do that anyways. Yeah. And I'll put some dirt under there. Okay. That makes sense. Anyway. So some of the things that I'm thinking when I look at what's going to be in the new Grand Theft Auto game when it comes out, right? Just some thoughts. I think it would be cool. Fishing, of course, right? Based on some of the leaks that occurred, they released some of the places you'll be able to, like, go to, like, some of the shops. Not enterable places, or just enterable places, but, like, shopping location, right? Apparently, one of those shopping locations is a bait store. So based on that, you can go, okay, so that means fishing is going to be in the game. They could change it and have not kept the bait store because these are leaks. You never know. I'd be disappointed if that was the case because by now, those of you that are regulars should know about my fishing obsession. If you're not regulars, you're about to learn about it. Anyways, specifically my fishing obsession with fishing being in video games. Games like The Elder Scrolls or Fallout, like open world games that allow you to have the freedom to delay the main story. Even if there are certain missions that could be classified as being timed overall, you'll always have that, like, hey, you can do the story whenever. Bitch. Other things that you could say based off of, like, all the bits of information we've gotten. from multiple sources. One of which being, I can't remember the exact name of them, but the people that are behind like the No Pixel server for, or responsible for some of the tools and stuff like that that are utilized in the No Pixel server. Whatever. Long story short, they hired the group that's responsible for some of the most popular communities or most popular RP servers on Grand Theft Auto Online and Red Dead Redemption Online. So they hired that group, which you can say, all right, you can expect some of the shit that you've seen from, like if you looked into any of the RP type stuff that they do, like how they steal cars, how they go and burglar houses if they're criminals, how they do X, Y, or Z, right? You can expect some of those elements in the game, right? If those, like, that's not a leak, that's the truth from the word of the company themselves. The leaks kind of corroborate how there are some of those systems like that. Now, mind you, at the end of the day, they could be changed, improved upon, or not there at all, depending on what they decide at the end of the day. Oh shit, there were two there. But yeah, I've gone on record to be like, all right. That is so fucking nerve-wracking, man. All right, he's dead. Get the fuck off.
Well then, let's go. Trojan Bearskin Raw, America's thinnest latex condom.
Hey.
Spotifyers, click or tap the banner to listen to Spotify Singles Holiday Collection. Your favorite holiday tunes like you've never heard before. Brought to you by our friends at the Home Depot.
One of them things, you know? Sometimes you just need a vacation. And what's funny is I was thinking about it. I was breaking down the meaning of vacation, like why people do that. They do that to get away, right? They do it to be like more comfortable. But what's so funny is I know for a fact
$1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Spotify.
that
Somebody came through the
after like 4 or 5 days of vacation time, the people are like, all right, I can't wait to get back home to take care of what I need to take care. Like,
looked over and drove away. Left everything.
I just thought that was funny.
It wasn't her, so
But it's not that they want to get away forever. They just want to get like, give me a minute. I gotta take a breather.
yeah, she saved the day. She was my little
And you could turn a lot of stuff into a vacation because you want to know what I pretty much do when I go on vacation? We go to like one of the fancy motels. They have swimming pools inside of them and shit like that. That's what we do. We just go to a fancy motel for a couple of days. That's how we go on vacation. And some people might look at that and go, that's it? And it's like, well, 15 years ago I went to Disney World, Disneyland, whatever the fuck. I also went to Gatorland. Got a story to tell you all. Holy shit. It'll fucking... You probably won't believe it. But believe it, don't. I don't give a shit. It'll be the truth. Went to Gator World down in Florida. Or Gatorland down in Florida. And I will never forget that trip. Ever. I will never forget that trip. But that's a story for another day. That's for a day when, instead of just being like, hey, here he is. Sit down here. I'm off to the side talking to him, and we're having story time with the father of tombs. Anyway. I'll raise you a dozen sound and give you an is. Holy shit, they're still around. I thought they'd be done for by now. That's fucking crazy. Here, okay. Here's an article. Gatorland provides safety tips. Gatorland provides safety tips as 2019 alligator breeding season begins. Florida's most trusted authority on alligator safety and education. Orlando, Florida, April 4th, 2019. With the start of alligator breeding season now underway, Gatorland reminds the public that any body of water in the state of Florida can be home to alligators, and that they are now on the move, looking for mates and nesting. Here are some important things to keep in mind from Florida's most trusted authority on alligator safety and education. And they literally have a whole thing about, and the reason they have a whole thing about Gatorland is because there are locations there that are like in the fucking swamp. And they're just like these wooden bridges that go over them. They basically built this fucking park. Just, I don't even know how to fucking word it. Like, you know the Jurassic Park games where you can build a park, right? Instead of the dinosaurs being for the people are for the dinosaurs, right? The cages aren't there for the dinosaurs to keep them in. It's to keep the people out. Like, the people can't, like, you get what I'm trying to say? That's what Gatorland is. That's one of those things where if you're fucking around, there's a YouTube video. There's an honest to God, we're gonna save this reaction time. We're gonna be watching this video. That's when reaction time. I'm saving that for then. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that's a dick move. That's a dick move. That's not funny. I mean, it's funny. It's funny. Like, it is funny from your perspective. But I'd be pretty pissed. I'd be really pissed. Not only if someone did that to my sister, oof. It would be hard for me not to get very aggressive. The thing that would stop me is realizing from their perspective they thought it would be funny. Obviously, it's fucking not. Anyways. Yeah. Exactly my point right there. Like, that's one of those things where, dude, you just did a dangerous fucking thing. I mean, when you think about it, like, in the way that you're thinking about it, it's fucking hilarious. But there are circumstances some people have that situation is not funny in. But when you picture, you know, it being fine, but the individual who's reacting isn't fine, yeah, I can be like, kind of funny. But yeah, exactly my point, right? Oh, fucking trees. You gotta be in my way. But no, there's a lot of situations I've been in that you could even classify as similar, you know what I mean? When we were down in Florida going to Disney World, we went to this theme park. I can't remember the name of the theme park, but it was this one that had the slide that was like, how high was it? Was it 150 foot in the air? Hold on. Hold on. Give me a second. The Summit Plummet, is that what it is? Walt Disney World isn't known for its thrills, but Summit Plummet is one of the world's tallest and fastest water slides. And it just be the single most thrilling attraction at the Florida resort. I went down that when I was really fucking young. Right? It's a speed slide. The height restriction to ride 48 inches. Height of slide 120 feet. Speed varies according to the rider, approximately 60 miles per hour for adults and 50 miles per hour for kids. I went down that fucking thing at like really fast. I went really fast apparently, faster than the average kid or something like that, because I tried to make myself as aerodynamic as possible. That's why, because when you're an adult, you can make yourself more aerodynamic. I fucking, because of my dad doing stupid shit when he was younger, knew about how to do the shit with the aerodynamic shit. Like, if you're gonna drop into the water, drop this way, that way, yada yada yada. Anyways, I went down that fucking thing so fucking fast, man. It was funny because we're going up, like, it's taking forever to get up there, right? And I'm going. At this point, I don't give a fuck if I have to go by myself. Like, I go, then my dad has to come after me. I'm going, right? We get up there, we're almost there. And, like, these three big, buff, bodybuilder type people, like the tough guy, the stereotypical tough guy, walk past us. Because we see, every once in a while, we'll see people walking back down, like the walk of shame type of thing. And as soon as I heard people making it, like, the person in front of us or behind us or whatever, he was like, he'd been down there 3 times or whatever, egging us on type of shit. Trying to egg me on to put the fear in me to get me to go back down for one reason or another. Anyway, in my head, I'm going down this fucking slide. We get up there, and they do not, my sisters do not want to go down this fucking slide. They want to go back down. And now here's the thing. If they want to go down, we all have to go down. We either all have to go down or we all have to go. The person who's like, next, I don't want to hold up the line, so I walk forward, right? I'm all like, normally my dad's like, all right, gonna go through it again, what to do, and not to lean forward, don't do any of that, yada yada yada. But he's been doing that the whole way up there, so I just walk forward. And he goes, all right, and I start doing it. He's like, wow, that's impressive. All right, go. Clunk. I went. My dad's like, holy shit, where'd he go? By the time he's looking for me, I'm down there like trying to pick the fucking wedgie out of my ass because you're fucking going down a slide at 60 miles an hour. Yeah, that's a fucking mega wedgie right there. Holy shit. Anyways. So then he goes, all right, come on, and then goes ka-clunk. Then they follow too. That fucking slide, holy shit. You go like 120 feet down at the bottom so fucking fast. That's stupid though. If you think about what I just explained, that was awesome. But for as awesome as it was incredibly fucking dumb for me to go down something like that at my age. Even with the 4 foot, like, height limit. I think I was just there at the time. Oh, the gibbon monkeys. Yeah, I know about gibbon monkeys. Yep. Those fuckers are vicious. Anyways, I don't know how we got on that subject. Holy shit. That's one of those moments of like, how in the fuck did we get there?
Titillated, heightened more and more until they're
Fuck.
completely overloaded. Well then, let's go. Trojan Bearskin Raw, America's thinnest latex condom.
When my family does Walt Disney World Resort, we do it big.
Bippity boppity big, like Cinderella Castle.
What were we just talking about?
Like those juicy turkey legs from Gaston's Tavern.
It doesn't get any bigger than the Tam Tam.
What were we just fucking talking about? Where the hell did that other one go?
Like Goofy's kid.
Disney World Resort.
Oh, Walt Disney Resort they're talking about. Sorry. I thought it was going to be quiet. I hoped it wasn't that quiet.
Right now, get 25% off all artificial.
It was an advertisement for Walt Disney Resorts.
Save on a holiday living 9-foot pre-lit artificial garland. Was $19.99.
This is advertisements right now. How's that? This is for Lowe's.
Ready for the season. Shop in store and online because Lowe's.
But compared to my voice, how is that?
11:15. Tree decor includes ornaments, toppers, collars, and skirts. While supplies last, selection varies by location.
Mom, could you help me with my quantum mechanics?
Earlier, it felt like it was way too loud for me, and it was while I was talking. No, I know, but the thing I'm saying is, we just got done talking about a ride. Literally got done talking about a ride called Summit Plummet, which is a Walt Disney World thrill. I just think that's amusing. But no, the thing that I want to bring up as well is doing surveys. Because there is quite an interesting amount of information you can find out early by doing surveys. Pretty cool. It's pretty fun. Now, of course, every time you do a survey, as you're going through the survey and you're like putting in information because they want to get information from people like you and like the demographic, right? They put up little, they're NDAs basically, right? They're the agreement that you're not going to talk about what you're about to do a survey on. Now, you can talk about what I'm talking about without giving specifics, of course. But surveys are pretty cool, because some of them are as simple as, like, what are your thoughts on the color blue? And others are more complex on, like, hey, there's a thing we want you to check out. Check out the thing. Don't talk about the thing, but check it out. Because if you do check about this thing, and you tell other people, we'll sue you. The reason I brought that up is because hint, hint, nudge, nudge, I have a couple of referral links for some survey sites. The one I currently use most often is Swagbucks. And no, I am not sponsored by Swagbucks. That would be pretty neat, though. Anyway. One of the other things I'm looking forward to when it comes to... I don't know if this is gonna work. Fuck it. If I fucked up, I can always just double up. It doesn't really matter. I can make it work. What kind of, like, just in general, what vehicles I'm gonna have early game and stuff like that? What's gonna be the best way to make money? Are they gonna take a page out of Grand Theft Auto 5's book and make it to where you only make money on certain jobs? Or are they gonna make it where every job gives you something at the end of it, whether it be money or some sort of a reward? That's the kind of shit. Nice. Oh, you bitch. Look at this motherfucker over here popping me one with a bow, man. Fuck out of here with that shit, man. How dare you? How fucking dare you Front me, bitch. Anyway. You dare challenge me, foul knave? You know not whom you insult. With the mere thought, you could be a threat to moi. And one of the things I will say, again, something I'm not 100% sure I talked about last Monday or not, but if it seems like I'm talking more about Grand Theft Auto 6 than the Metal Gear Solid Delta stuff, yeah, I am, and I'm going to, because Metal Gear Solid, that's a remake at this point. That's just a game we've already had before, but redone, reimagined to a certain extent, right? So while I am excited, the thing that makes me most excited is something that's new. Now, mind you, oh, look at this motherfucker. Look at these motherfuckers. They fucking... Oh. Yeah, you can't fool me. Who else? Is that one right there? There is one right there. Fucking I can smell you. Bitches. I will say the funniest part about this has been the memes that people have been making. The longer it takes for them to actually release Grand Theft Auto 6, the more crazy it seems people get about it. Like, holy shit, some people need to chill. Some people need to take a breather. But yeah, other news, I'll probably be done with Grand Theft Auto 5 by this coming stream week. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll probably be finishing up the main story of Grand Theft Auto 5. That's not set in stone. I could decide to do a lot more side content, or I might have a couple of long streams that are split into a couple of different parts for YouTube watchers. Alright? Also, hi YouTube, how you doing? Thought I'd see if you're enjoying this extremely irrelevant and not current vlog thing. Because what else is this possibly? Like, it is relevant for you who are watching on YouTube, but if you want to come live and check out the stream, you're probably not going to be seeing anything for Grand Theft Auto 5, right? Because there is a little bit of a delay. There's like a week and a half to 2 week long delay of when certain things come out compared to when they're created. Like, this will probably end up getting published in December, hilariously enough. And because December 7th, which is when the Game Awards are, is on a Thursday, I will be streaming on that day, when normally I'm taking that break, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are the days that I use to chill. I am starting to get back into the editing and stuff like that on a more consistent basis, as in last night, I did like 45 to 50 minutes of editing before I went to bed, just to get start getting the habit of doing some sort of editing every day. Oh shit.
He's a busy soccer dad.
Well, I mean, the AI will kind of always be as dumb as like.
Other things come easy, like banking with Chase. And a tip from his banker, he set up autosave in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
This is actually, I'm gonna stop myself because that's wrong.
One bank with the power of both. Visit chase.com.
There still will be moments, but like, you never really want there to be a game that the AI will beat you always, or figure out a way to beat you always. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking about it and I'm like, yeah, there's a certain amount of, you know.
If you're thinking, I would go to yoga, but
difficulty you got to be careful with.
Save on the best activewear brands.
Because at that point, the only way you're really going to be able to beat the game or beat the AI is if you like.
And if you're still thinking, but Elaine Nelson will be there and I haven't seen her since my kid bit her kid on the calf. Well, then we say,
you know, to restart the game, which at that point, if the AI's learned that much, then I think it would be worth restarting the game at that point, depending on how fast the AI learns, though. Oh yeah, on higher difficulties, it should be better than what it is. Because really, the only difference, there really never was a difference in the AI for the Terraria stuff. It was basically the same exact AI as always. It was just more aggressive, in quotation marks. And not only was it more aggressive, but it was also more of them, right? So like, instead of dealing with 1 or 2, it's 3 or 4. And they're a bit faster and a bit more trying to attack you. Oh shit. But yeah, higher difficulties should be more difficult if there are difficulty sliders. Well, I was gonna say, you also have games that don't have difficulties, and as much as there's a part of me that is like, yeah, okay, if you have difficulty sliders, that's fine. But the only real way to me that a difficulty slider works is when it's for something like Ninja Gaiden, right? When you go on higher difficulties on that game, it doesn't just increase the amount of, you know, health your enemy has. It makes enemies that have different rules. All kinds of stuff starts changing when you go on higher difficulties when it comes to that game. It's still the same game, of course, but it technically isn't the same game because you're looking at it from a different perspective. Are we Oh, Terra Invicta. You want to know what's hilarious? You want to know what's fucking hilarious? You want to know what game I was talking about? I said Terra Invicta, right? You want to know what game I was talking about when I said that? Terraria. Now, you might be confused, but that's how I view all AI for video games. Right? It's just how developers program it differently. Also, look at that. Look at how fucking cool that is. We have an iron golem on the wall. I know, but that's how I view AI when it comes to video game stuff across the board. No matter what game I'm playing, there are always rules to what the AI can and cannot do. Like villagers. We call villagers stupid as fuck, but the villagers might actually be really fucking intelligent based on what their programming is. Right? And I say this with quotation marks. Because they can open doors, but they cannot open fences. Now, some people go, oh, that's stupid. But people like me go, oh, that's fantastic. That means I could make a house like this. They can't press buttons, so they can't go out that way. So this is like the most dangerous area right now. But since they can't open fencing, it can give this the look of like, hey, it gives the look of they have freedom, but they really don't. And honestly, when you say it that way, it's like, oh, that sounds fucked up. But let me break it down to you. These fuckers are about 1/4 of an inch smarter, or a centimeter smarter. It's not the same measurement, but just bear with me. Than fucking lemmings. These idiots will walk right up to a zombie and get ate. So they need to have a fence. Because this is basically the past this point, you die, stupid. But that's just because of how they're programmed for the AI. Everything has different types of programming that makes it smarter or dumber based on your perspective. And it makes me really curious about what they're going to do for the AI of Grand Theft Auto 6. Like, it's not as bad. I feel it's the police spawning in isn't nearly as bad as it was in Grand Theft Auto 4 when compared to Grand Theft Auto 5. But it's still fucking bad. Like, the cops just spawn right. I was bitching about it the other day. The cops just spawn right in fucking front of you sometimes. But yeah, it makes me curious about what route they're going to take with it and how they're going to make the AI the way they're going to make it. Because the AI for the Grand Theft Auto games is pretty stupid if you really think about it. It seems like it's better in Grand Theft Auto 5. At least at first glance. But when you break it down, the AI is actually, like, just as stupid. Okay, we got some stone here. Yeah, I'm, like I always say, I'm an optimist when it comes to certain things. For me, it's super annoying when you have certain things going on and then it's like, all right, why don't we do it this way? And it's like, why? Oh shit, I fucked up. Ah, whatever. Like, you've got certain things where they're talking about when it revolves around AI, of like them using AI more and more and more, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I don't care what you think of AI. I've seen a lot of different AI artwork and stuff like that, and like it's very interesting how the robot will do what it does. But the reason it's interesting to me is that it's sifting through who knows how much data to compile from what you're asking for, the tags that you're using to get the image that you want. Right? So if you put down like red dragon warrior, you'll get some sort of an image that has those tags in it, because what it's doing is it's sifting through the internet to get a hold of that information. And that's what AR art is. AR art is not... Whenever you use AR art, you are creating something in the literal sense. Like, yes, you've made something new. But it's not using an original idea, it's using shit that already exists to make that new thing. Like, if it can get the data to make it, it will use shit that you normally couldn't get unless you had to pay money to do it. It's like, yeah, okay, you can create all this amazing shit, but it's not creating anything realistically when you break it down like that. All it's doing is taking the most popular cliches and putting them all together. Cliches or well-known, like, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, like that. That's the kind of shit. It's taking something like that and taking something like... I'm trying to think of memes that are relevant right now. Like Ugandan Knuckles. They'll take shit like that and throw it together to make something. That's the other thing that's like wild as fuck when you start thinking about it. AI voicing. And like voice changer shit. Like... You look at something like the presidents play Minecraft or something like that, and it's entertaining, right? It's actually quite humorous. I laugh at it. I'll watch it in a couple days from now and laugh at it. But I think about it and it's like, damn, that's got some implications. Like, you'll start getting situations where assholes are going to use voice changes and stuff like that to make themselves sound like someone, and then call someone and act like they're really the person when they're not, and think it's funny what they're about to do. But what they're about to do is, like, from someone else's perspective, or fucking horrendous. Right? But at the end of the day, you're not going to stop it, right? You're not going to be able to stop the use of AI because it's easy. And it is interesting to see what an AI can come up with when you give it a certain type of a prompt, right? Like, it could give you something from some wild-looking galaxy to a pebble. like with the same prompt. It's crazy how it does that, but at the same time, it's like, guys, it's fucked up that you're gonna do something like this and then try and claim it as your own, because there are a lot of fucking Twitter accounts that exist that are artists, but if you look at their art, it's AI generated art, and they don't talk, and they try and act like it's theirs, and it's like, no. Yeah, that sucks. But you have a lot of people who will look at something that's printed and go, oh, this looks like it's generated by AI, when it's not. And that's because what they've been looking at was something they created, but the AI warped it.
Find out how at dollar.bank.
I remember a long time ago, there was something going around on Twitter where it came out, this like really well-known artist, like Twitter artist, was just tracing all the art they did, right? And I remember they doubled down on it and was like, yeah, of course I trace. A lot of people trace, don't they? Like, they were using other people's artwork. They were just tracing other people's artwork to fulfill the commissions they were getting. And this got found out when they took a picture of a commission that was in the middle of being completed, and like off to the side that could barely get seen was another piece of art made by somebody else, right? And nobody really noticed that at first until they posted the art piece and were like, wait a minute, this looks exactly like that, except the coloration's different here and there, and it, like, wait a minute, what? And then it came out that this person was actually tracing other people's art. That to me is literally no different than what AI art is doing. That's literally what the AI art is doing. The same goes with like an AI script writer or an AI this or an AI that. It's using shit that already exists because other people made it. I need to switch this hat because this hat is going to break and I don't want this hat to break, so let's switch this before I forget. See, this is the thing. I don't have an issue with that. My whole issue, though, is with, like, not being honest about it. You're being honest about it, right? There's a big difference between the people I'm talking about and what you're saying. I need to actually do some mining for regular stone. Holy shit. That's kind of crazy. Exactly. That's why anytime I talk about, like, AI stuff, the only reason I would use it is in order to better spot AI in the wild, right? Because there's some shit that looks so fucking good, but because I've been fucking around with AI, I noticed something. AI always has some sort of a glitch or a tell, right? Like, hilariously enough, it's like limbs. Like, necks will be way longer than they should be or shorter than they should be. Eyes will be a little bit off sometimes. Fingers will be like, there'll be one more finger, or there'll be like an extra hand somewhere. Like, there's always little tells about, like, how it is what it is. Okay, that's what I was doing. Armor. Switching my armor. Holy shit. This goes here. I've got that there. Do we want? Oh, no, 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 no. Like, I'm not saying realistic eyes. I'm just saying, like, off more so than they normally would be. Right? Like, it's something that you can't explain because it's not really that noticeable unless, it's a little difficult to explain, but basically what it is like individuals who use AI art and try and like truly try and make it like it's theirs. It will even go as far as to argue that the person who's complaining that they're the ones who are using the AI art, but they're really the ones that are using it. Now, mind you, that's one of those what the fuck type of moments, but that has happened once or twice. What the fuck? Shroom light. What? What is a shroom light? Do we want glowstone? I'm trying to think what we want for the lighting down there. I have lanterns. Let's just get like a 20. Is a redstone lamp brighter than just a glowstone thing? Or is it something you utilize for like computers and stuff like that? No, not shroom light. Pretty funny though. Basically, I would have these floating at a certain layer. I gotta have them float on a layer like up here. Hold up. I want to make a layer of floating lights right about there. You motherfucker. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is basically going to be where I put the floating light glowstone. This might get fucked up later, but for example, is that where I want to put it, or one higher? One higher, one higher, one higher. That's crazy. But yeah, regardless of what they have when it comes to the next Grand Theft Auto game, I'm excited for it. That it's finally like gonna get officially announced. Mind you, what's really funny is if you think about it, I don't even know if we would have this amount of information if not for the leaks. Like, I think we would only be seeing anything Grand Theft Auto related maybe around this time, like for the first time. That would have been... It might be a good thing that the leaks happened, because maybe people aren't as hype as they normally would be if we just were getting Grand Theft Auto 6 information now, instead of a couple years ago. Not that it was a couple years... It wasn't a couple years ago, was it? Please tell me it wasn't a couple years ago. Tell me it was like this year. Hold up. September 18th, 2022, which saw dozens of videos and screenshots from an alleged in-development build of the game spread online.
I would go to yoga, but I don't have the right gear. Sierra says, save on the best activewear brands.
And like, you have so many articles now about Grand Theft Auto 6, Grand Theft Auto 6, Grand Theft Auto 6, Grand Theft Auto 6. It's like, guys, chill.
But Elaine Nelson will be
Chill.
there, and I haven't seen her since my kid bit her kid on the calf. Well, then we say, maybe just do Pilates.
Like, I know I'm excited for it, but like...
To your local store, like now. Go!
NFL Week 1 seems like it was just yesterday, but the countdown to February is officially
Anyway.
on. So download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, and cherish every handoff, tackle, and field goal.
Yeah, it's been a pretty busy month this month when you really break down all the shit that's happened. Omegle? That's kind of crazy hearing about that shutting down. I kind of am in more agreement with that than with not shutting it down because of how unmoderated it was. And for as many fucked up individuals that were on it and being assholes, there are probably a lot of tales where people were just chilling and chatting, you know?
AT&T Fiber with All-Fi covers your whole house, even your really, really creepy attic turned home theater.
Jimmy, what have I told you about?
There's always going to be controversial stuff that gets toned down in a Grand Theft Auto game. Listen, every single fucking Grand Theft Auto game that came out, I guarantee you there's shit in the original code that they never actually implemented because of some controversial reason or another. That'll happen with Grand Theft Auto 6. That'll happen with Grand Theft Auto 66. I guarantee it. This might be the Grand Theft Auto that has it, though. That's what's cool, because if you actually start to look at it, Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5 are just as fucked up, right? For different reasons. Grand Theft Auto 4 is a lot more blunt about how fucked up it is, whereas Grand Theft Auto 5 is a bit more subtle with where it's fucked up. I'm kind of hoping we'll get a nice little blend of fucked up when it comes to Grand Theft Auto 6, right? Like, it'll have just as many hammers as it does scalpels. If that makes any sense. What the fuck am I doing? I know what I'm doing. Going to put some of this shit away. I know I only used it for like 5 seconds and didn't do what I thought I was going to do with it, but in all honesty, I kind of want to have room for cobblestone. No. There's more than 10 Metal Gear Solid games. Harry Potter? There's gotta be more than 10 Harry Potter games. And you say optimistic, Call of Duty. Call of Duty's up there at this point, right? That's the thing, though. You're right, and I kind of hope they keep doing that. Don't like. I don't care when the game takes place. You know when that shit? I started noticing that. I started noticing that with Metal Gear Solid. With Metal Gear Solid, they still have the numbers, right? But not all the games have the numbers, for one thing. And for another, they have, like, Grand Theft Auto this. But if you think about it, look at this, though. Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas. Those games didn't have numbers, right? But if you think about what story they tell a story that happens before Grand Theft Auto 3. Because the way it works in the timeline is Grand Theft Auto Vice City happens first, then Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, then Grand Theft Auto 3. I haven't played Grand Theft Auto 1 or 2, so I don't know where in the timeline they take place. But I know there's like Grand Theft Auto Liberty City stories and Vice City stories, which I don't know if when Liberty City stories takes place, but I know Vice City stories takes place before the events of Grand Theft Auto Vice City, from the perspective of Lance's brother. Which, this is one of the reasons why I don't like prequel games, right? Because, like, we already have the story for Grand Theft Auto Vice City stories. When we play Vice City, we're just getting a different perspective. And yeah, now that I think about it that way, maybe it's better than I'm giving it credit for. I don't know. You know what? My opinion about prequels will probably change when I go through Red Dead Redemption 2. Because now that I think about it, there is a game that is a prequel that is one of my favorite of all times. However, if you break it down, direct prequels are more so what I dislike than indirect. And what I mean by that is Red Dead Redemption 2 is a direct prequel to Red Dead Redemption. Or as direct as you can get, minus a couple of years. Where you look at Metal Gear Solid 3, and that's like a 50-year difference or some shit. Maybe not a 50-year difference, but it's a lot of a year's difference between the events of Metal Gear Solid 3 and Metal Gear Solid. Actually, Metal Gear. Not even Metal Gear Solid, but just Metal Gear. Because you can break the story of Metal Gear Solid down into two tales. There's a lot more than two tales, but the main perspectives are Big Boss and Solid Snake. There's also a couple of other perspectives, but the main perspectives are those perspectives. Well, here's the thing. I'm okay with them not utilizing a number, but I like when they have the number for a game that you could classify as being part of the main branch, right? I look at something that doesn't have a number but has a title and does take place somewhere in the story as like almost filler, but also like side story that you don't have to have, but it will help paint a better picture if you do go through that side story. Like like Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. That's not a numbered Metal Gear game, but it takes place after the events of Metal Gear Solid 3. Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain does have a number, but people just don't refer to it as Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain. They refer to it as Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It took me a second to, like, 2.5 is okay. What does 2.5? Oh, yeah, that's what you mean when you say 2.5. Yeah, I could abide by something like that. But one of the things I'm thinking about when I say that is actually Fallout, because I know a little bit about Fallout. And outside of, is it Fallout 76, the MMO? Outside of that, which takes place at, I think, the earliest point in any Fallout game, based off the timeline, every other Fallout goes farther and farther past a certain point, right? Like Fallout 1 takes place this many years, at this year. Fallout 2 takes place 72 years after that. Fallout 3 takes place X years after that, so on and so forth.
But it looks like it could rain.
Yeah, true. Like an ABC type of numbering system. So like, you know when to play it. Like Metal Gear Solid 1B. Kind of like how they do with that Nier Automata game. I'd never really played it, but I know it has like a billion different endings or some shit like that. Like 1A and B and 32C and shit like that. Which is very interesting because of what that means for your playthroughs. Like, what all do you have to do in order to get all the endings? Do you have to replay the game? How many times do you have to replay the game? Or do you not have to replay the game at all?
Products issued by Nationwide Life Insurance Company or Nationwide Life and Annuity Insurance.
But yeah, if you start looking into video games and how many there are, Mario, how many Mario games have released? There's got to be way more than 10 Mario games that have come out.
So, tell me about yourself.
I was blind.
You know what?
That must make banking difficult.
Fuck all of you.
There's a lot of trust. Before I could even ask, Huntington offered their statements in Braille that made me feel like I was as important as you are.
I'm sure.
It feels like just
That-
the right place.
That's kind of fucked up.
Welcome to Huntington. Real people competent for true stories.
That throughout their life, because they're blind, people have looked them at a different way. Yeah, I get that they can't see like everybody else, but they can see in a different way than everybody else. They're just as important as everybody else, regardless if they can see like you and I or not. That's fucked up. Anyway. I mean, that's the thing. I will say, Fallout might be a game franchise that I play through a couple of different times. I don't know if I'll play through all the games a couple of different times. But there might be certain games that I like more than the others that I'll play more often. Right? Kind of like how I play XCOM 2 a lot. I really like XCOM 2. I never really played the first XCOM game. And I don't really have desire to play Chimera Squad, even though it does look interesting. It doesn't have the customization that XCOM 2 has. So it wouldn't fit the role that I want Chimera Squad to fit, you know? Oh, damn it. I love how I'm not paying... I'm just, like, talking more than I'm paying attention, and I gotta go to sleep again in order to pass time back into the morning so I don't have to worry with too many spawns. Like... The only experience I have with Fallout is Fallout 4, truthfully. That's what introduced me into the Fallout series, and it gave me the desire to play the other games, just like how I was introduced to the Final Fantasy series with Final Fantasy 15. that is my first Final Fantasy game. So you can see, like, why I like that game so much. I think I have 40 hours of fishing time in total in that game, at least, on the most recent playthrough that I did. But yeah, after we finish up with Grand Theft Auto 5, we're going to be diving into Red Dead Redemption 2. I had thought if I was going to play Red Dead Redemption 2, I could also go through Red Dead Revolver, Gun, which it has no association with Red Dead, I'm fairly certain. But it is a Western game that I played that has a lot of similar things that Red Dead Revolver has, which has a lot of similar things that Red Dead Redemption has. Anyway, after Red Dead Revolver, after Gun, it was gonna be Red Dead Redemption, and then Red Dead Redemption 2, but then I sat back and said, you know what, no. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait until Red Dead Redemption 3 gets officially announced and do what I did for Grand Theft Auto. I'm gonna play through all the Grand Theft Auto games over time, and then kind of have the knowledge of the previous games before diving into the current one. Obviously, it's not current right now because it's not out, but it will be current in the future, where the knowledge I have of the other Grand Theft Auto games will be relevant to both the mechanics, the story, and stuff like that. Also, something else I've realized that I'm going to start doing, I'm going to start editing way more often than I have been, which I have been editing off stream, but not as much as I've been wanting to. But I am going to get into the habit of doing a little bit, even if it is just like an hour's worth, and when I don't feel like editing. So I'm doing something, because eventually it'll get to the point to where I'm like, man, I really don't feel like streaming, and I end up streaming for like 3 hours, which a couple years ago, if I didn't feel like streaming, I'd only last for like an hour, because there were some days where I barely lasted the hour for the 1 year challenge, where I had to stream for at least an hour every single day. I did that. What was it, for the year of 2021? Anyways, it was 2021 or 2022 when I did the 1 year challenge. I don't quite remember. But going straight for a fucking year was rough. I have mad respect for people that do subathons. Maybe I'll do something like that in the future, but in all honesty, from me doing the 1 year thing that I did, I'm very hesitant to do that, because every fucking day, while chat keeps you there, like that's wild. True, they put caps on it, and there are some individuals that put caps on it for a good reason. Well, no, there's a difference. There's a difference when you have the stream going constantly and when you stream every single day. There's even a difference to what I do compared to streaming every single day. Trust me when I say there's a big difference. Like, there are some people that just enjoy streaming, but it becomes a bit much. Trust me, until you stream every single day for at least an hour, you can be like, yeah, I get it, but you don't get it until you have that experience of, like, having to do something. Because at the beginning, you don't have to do it, right? But as time progresses and the more you want to take a break, the more you're like, man, I cannot do that because this is a challenge. This is a thing that I have to do. So it starts to become more and more of a thing where it's like, you enjoy doing it, but it's becoming less so because you have to do it. That's why I like taking 3 days break, because by the time I can only do it for 3 days. Hell, it's gonna get to the point soon enough to where I might start streaming an extra day. I don't know when that will be. Maybe it'll be like I'll just stream an editing stream or something this week. Maybe. It won't be an announced stream if I do it, but it will be something that I do, and it won't go up on YouTube. But it will be something that, like, if I'm just editing, it'll be chill as fuck. Right? And I'll primarily be focused on just editing something. We might not even have webcam on those days. But I get the idea of wanting to stream more because it's fun. This is fun. Interacting with people, having conversations like this, just talking about whatever the fuck. Right? If someone were to come by and start talking about a different subject, we would start talking about that subject. Doesn't matter what it is. Like this right here about going back to streaming the next day. I don't know why I did that, but whatever. Because there are some people that just enjoy doing it. I enjoy doing this. And I get the idea of like, oh, it would be cool to do something like that. But I might put a unique twinge on it or something like that. I don't know. All I know is the more subs and stuff that I get, the better the streams will be, because I can focus more on them and less on outside shit. Because like I've been saying, this is currently a hobby. I would really enjoy to do it for a career, but it's currently a hobby. Because there are other, like, I'm not making a living off of doing this. Which, that's fine. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because of the interactivity, like I say. Alright? But it is nice when you can, like, start to set some shit aside for savings or emergency fund or what have you, as well as be like, alright, most of what I earn through streaming goes back into the stream. It's why I have a webcam. It's why I have a second monitor. It's why I have a new controller. And I appreciate it. I can barely put into words how much I appreciate it. Right?
If you're thinking, I would go to yoga, but I don't have the right gear, Sierra says, save on the best activewear brands. If you're also thinking, but my yoga mat is kind of embarrassing.
But the best things have been some of the conversations that have cropped up.
But Elaine Nelson will be there, and I haven't seen her since
True. Well, technically the way that I look at it is an exchange of services, because I'm being entertained enough to where y'all feel that entertainment should be tipped in some way, shape, or form. It's why I make the analogy about Twitch being a restaurant, and when you come to a certain... It's not exactly like this, but this is a good way to make sense. This is the table. You're sitting at the table, and I'm feeding you a meal, in quotation marks. It's a meal of vocabulary strung together to make a conversation, but it is a meal of words nonetheless. And you... It's an all-you-can-eat buffet type thing, right? No cost. But you can tip your server, right? Gratuity is very much appreciated, kind of a thing. Of course, it's one of those things of focus on yourself first.
Let's go. Oh, yeah. Oh, you can't beat that. Visit
Yeah.
Instacart.com or download the app to get free.
I like being kept on my toes, too, of like, all right, how do I respond to this conversation, right? Like, how do I respond to that? Or how do I respond to this? Or what do I do to make this video game entertaining? Because at the end of the day, a lot of this time that a stream is, like, shorter than 6 hours lately, is because I'm feeling tired and I'm like, I'm not gonna be entertaining. I know I'm not entertaining right now. And I'm not always trying to be entertaining, because to me, my definition of entertainment is something that's keeping my attention, right? If I'm keeping your attention, I'm entertaining you. And I understand that there are times where I step away and I keep those into the VODs, but the reason I keep those into the VODs is a weird personal reason of like, that is time that I have to spend doing something important to me, right? So I kind of want that time to exist as well. For people that don't like that, in the future there will be edited videos. I might make a third channel on YouTube for edited down streams. Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, it also depends on the mood that I'm in. Like, there'll be certain days where I'll nip a conversation in the bud immediately because I don't have the mental capacity to have that conversation today. Right? Or I'll be like, all right, we're moving on, and the reason we're moving on is because I can't right now, type of thing. Which is a rare thing for me to feel. A lot of it has to do with, like, if I'm feeling sick or not, right? Or the type of atmosphere I want a stream to have. But the reason I'm realizing that what we talk about should be fine is because at the end of the day, no matter what anyone thinks, the person that you disagree with is always spouting off bullshit. And the person you agree with will always be right, no matter what your perspective is, because it's your perspective. Alright? So, yeah, sure, disagree all you want with me. That's fine, I have no problem with that. But it's where, like, the call to violence is where I start being like, nah, that's too far. What's the point? Why? This brings up my conversation from a couple of days ago about dumb animals. I saw a video on Twitter. Again, it's on Twitter, so it could be fake or whatnot, but of a crow using a jar, a lid from a jar, as a snowboard to go down a roof. Like, it would go down the roof, grab the jar lid, fly back up, go down it again. Like it was fucking snowboarding with a jar. And it's like, that bird is having fun doing this thing. We know it as snowboarding. We call it snowboarding. I said snowboarding, and everybody knew what I was fucking talking about, for the most part. Maybe someone have never seen a snowboard before. You never know. Anyways, most people immediately knew what I was talking about when I said the crow was snowboarding using the lid of a jar. However, it was doing the slidey slip and having fun, or whatever the hell the crow calls it. That's why I look at animals as intelligent as humans, because I look at it this way. There are some humans that are as dumb as these rocks in this video game. And there are some humans that are as intelligent as how people perceive Sherlock Holmes is intelligence, right? There's people that are that intelligent. Just like there are animals that can be said the same. I guarantee you there's a dog that's so smart it could probably fucking keep Edison on his toes. And then there are some dogs that are dumb enough to where a rock would hold a better conversation. Well, it's not that they can't be stupid, because I bet there is a crow that has done some shit that was stupid. You know what I mean? I guarantee you there's a crow out there that has done something stupid. Just like I guarantee you, at some point in your life, you've done something, if you look back on it, you can go, well, that was stupid. Like how I look back on my adventure down the fucking 120-foot water slide. That was one of those stupid moments. It was a blast and a half, and I'll have fond memories of it. But it was dumb as fuck. What the fuck? What the fuck do you think you're doing here, bitch? No, I know. That's why I smirked the way that I did. Because when you start looking into the history of, like, certain individuals, you start to realize where their intelligence came from. And it was less the traditional intelligence and more they were smart in the way that, mind you, they had to have a level of intelligence to understand that the concept they were buying into was good. But they were more of a purchaser of ideas than the creator of ideas. Like how you look at a game and it says published by this company, made by this company, same concept. And yet most people will say, oh, if a game's published by Rockstar, they'll say, oh, the game that Rockstar made, Rockstar didn't make the game. Rockstar just gave enough money for this game to be made. Obviously, if they weren't there, it would affect the existence of the game. But at the same time, you gotta keep in mind, they're not actually the ones who made the game, if it's published by them. I don't know why, but somehow I've got back into the thing of watching Among Us videos. I'm gonna blame talking about it, but there's this YouTube individual that I don't know if they stream on both Twitch and YouTube or just one or the other, but their name is Kaif, K-A-I-F, and they're part of a group of content creators known as SR. It used to be that they were known as Salt Raiders because that was the name of their guild in WoW. But hilariously enough, I know them because of me. I don't even know what I was looking up. I was looking through videos to watch. This was before Among Us became popular, hilariously enough, and just before the lockdown really started. So I started watching those videos, and then coronavirus hit, right? COVID hit, and bada bing, bada boom, lockdown, and then nobody had shit to play, and Among Us, sus, fucking that became a thing. And it's been a couple years, so I find myself every once in a while going back and watching videos that I haven't watched for a couple of years. Yeah, I mean, you think about it, this is gonna sound weird, but that is the future audience of people on Twitch and YouTube. You know what I mean? There will, of course, be people that will always go to certain types of content, just like there will be certain types of content that will always exist. Like, my type of commentary type content will always exist, but the popularity of it will fluctuate as the popularity of other shit fluctuates. Like, the shit that we won't understand in 10 years from now is going to be the shit that is going to be pretty prevalent.
Come on, guys, it's time! Trolls band together has more fun, more action, more music.
That one voice actor sounded like the voice actor for Brick from Borderlands 2. The dude laughing. Oh, ha, ha! That dude.
We gotta find our brothers and fast.
Milkshakes to celebrate.
Is this how people feel when they meet me?
Yes. Trolls band together. PG. Parental guidance suggested. In theaters Friday. Get tickets now.
Parental guidance suggested.
Thinking I should go for a run today, but it looks like it could rain. Sierra says save on epic rain jackets. If you're also thinking, but I can't go on these beat up old running shoes, Sierra says save on top brand running shoes. And if you're still thinking, but I'm also busy performing brain surgery, well then we say, you really should have led with that. Sierra, let's get moving.
I mean,
Local store, like now. Go.
you say that, and a lot of people think immediately that's bad. But I'm saying that's bad with also thinking about the entirety of it, because I know there are some people that are our age, if not older, that have just as bad of an addiction to their phones.
So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers
my older sister. She's 9 years older than me. I'm 28.
visit chase.com
You do the math.
checking. Chase.
And she's constantly, fucking constantly on her phone. And it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, you try to have a conversation with her, and you'll have that conversation. But you also have to take into account whatever the fuck she's about to be looking up on her phone, because that's where her nose is. Up the phone's ass. Ooh. That's hilarious. So yeah, not gonna go into detail because of spoiler reasons, and like I said, I haven't seen the series since season 1. But I'm looking forward to it now because of how polarized it seems the internet seems to have become from however Attack on Titan ended. Like, there's one group of people that are super fucking mad, and there's another group of people that are super fucking sad and happy because of how good it was. But the people who are mad because of how bad it was. And I'm over here going, man, I can't wait to see why these people are acting the way they are about this. Again, don't talk about it in detail because I haven't seen it and I don't want to know. The main reason is because this is one of the shows that I've been waiting until it finished to sit down and watch with my dad. Who, I think I said this earlier, I brought him up on stream when I was playing through Grand Theft Auto 5. I got to see this ductwork at the movie theater, studio, whatever it's called, for Solomon missions. And I had to bring him up to show him so we could make fun of the ductwork and just the HVAC stuff in general. I go, what do you think of that? And he goes, that is a clusterfuck. And then we were making fun of it for like 10 minutes or so. Fuck off, skeleton. I might take that and edit that into a little video for the main YouTube, even though I haven't uploaded what I wanted to upload. Basically, I am my own worst enemy in this situation because there's a part of me that isn't doing much else editing and other content when I should be, because I've set it in my mind that I'm going to start doing other shit whenever I finish the Neo series. And I've been procrastinating because of how I'm personally done with Neo. But I gotta finish these edits, so it's been like a catch-22, and finally I've like, you know what, I'm done delaying. I'm annoying myself now with how long this is taking me, so just sit down and do the fucking editing, get it over with. Because I'm gonna slowly edit my older content while also focusing on the newer shit. So Grand Theft Auto 6 videos, edited Grand Theft Auto 6 streams, should actually be going up to YouTube, my main YouTube, within a couple of days of me streaming the games, right? So like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe Monday when it first comes out, I'll be playing the game. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when I'll be editing those previous videos. And if I finish the streams before those days are up, then I can start working on my other content, my older content. But I can really only start this after I finish Neo, because I've set it in my mind to do so, right? It's hard to explain other than that. Yeah. Oh, he said thanks for that, by the way. I was talking about y'all's response who were there for that. And he was like, "I'll tell him thank you." After this, we're probably going to get some commercials. This is a cross between the Chocobo song from Final Fantasy and something else. The Chocobo song is slowed down a lot, though. I love how this, whatever this is just a bunch of remixes. And apparently this is a DMCA saved song. Like, it won't get the VOD muted for playing this. Right? But I recognize this from what I recognize it from, which is riding the fucking chocobos in Final Fantasy 15. But it's extremely slowed down. Oh, also, if there is fishing in Grand Theft Auto 6, I said this a couple times during playing my playthrough of Grand Theft Auto 5. But if there is fishing, and they have any ways to unlock new gear or anything like that, I'm gonna make sure I go through and unlock 100% of the aspects of fishing. And then I'm gonna proceed to do like a 24-hour stream where I do nothing but fish for those 24 hours. So it's not going to be on release. I'm probably not going to do a 24-hour... It'll be a long one. Maybe 12 hours. But it ain't going to be another 30-hour stream. Those types of streams are rough. And they got to be for something special. And the reason it was special for Armored Core is because Armored Core was a game that... It never got leaked. People thought it wasn't going to come out. However, with a game like Grand Theft Auto 6, you know that's going to come out because of how much money Grand Theft Auto 5... This is going to be the best-selling game ever, probably. Even if the game is shit to some people, it is going to be the best-selling game ever because of how hyped people are for it. Just like how when... You know what it's going to be for hype games? This and the next Elder Scrolls game. Those are like the two most hyped games that people are going to buy just because of how the hype is going to be for them. Again, I could be wrong, but I would be very surprised if I was wrong. The only thing that could come close, I think, for how hyped people would be, is if, like... all of a sudden they came out with PT's gonna actually release. That's the only way I could see people being more hype. Like, you do get a lot of hype. You do get a lot of hype with Metal Gear, and when it was first shown, I was hype as fuck. Now, mind you, I was definitely hype in the moment for the fact that we were getting the remake, but what starts making me more hype is when I think about where it could lead. Not where it's at right now, but where it's at could get it to where it will lead, and where it will lead is potentially new Metal Gear games. Mind you, there is also the possibility that they decide to go, alright, here's all the Metal Gear games remade in timeline order. So like you get your Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, you get your Peace Walker, your Phantom Pain, your Metal Gear 2, your Metal Gear Solid, your Metal Gear Solid 2, and then your Metal Gear Solid 4. And then they either do something with Rise and Revengeance, they like make an anniversary edition or something like that, because by the time all these games are out that I'm talking about, a lot of time will have passed. Right? Quite a few years. And then they could announce a new Metal Gear game. It'll be at that point that a lot of people will probably have not forgiven Konami, except that Konami can actually make games again and not fuck it up, only for them to come out with a new Metal Gear and probably fuck it up. Right? Of course, if that future ever comes to existence, when I'm talking about it in the future, I'll be saying how cautiously optimistic I am. Just like I'm cautiously optimistic for Grand Theft Auto 6, and I'm cautiously optimistic for the Metal Gear remake. The reason I'm optimistic, though, is because I always like being positive about something. But even though I am positive and hype about it, there's like... I won't ever exceed my expectations because while I want something, I don't expect I'll ever get that something when it comes to what developers do for games. Like, I look at a game like Run Like Hell, and I'm sad that it only has the one game, when the intention was to come out with 3 games, which makes sense with how they did the story. Exactly, you can't hit a home run every time. And I also want to bring up this. For anyone who's worried about the game, the fucking game coming out, think about how long 10 years is. And think about all the shit that has happened in 10 years. Think about the fact that it survived the lockdown. Do you know how many games, movies, books don't exist because of lockdown? Let alone the virus itself and all that. Like, there's a lot of shit you got to keep in mind when you think about the passing of time. Like, we could possibly have gotten this game a lot earlier than we're getting it because of the lockdowns and stuff like that. And like, look at all the shit that now is commonplace that used to be niche, right? Like Grubhub and all these rideshare services and meal services where you'll order a meal through them and they'll deliver whatever the hell you ordered, right? Like DoorDash and shit like that.
The holidays mean more travel, more
Before lockdown, that shit was just talked about in such a way that was like, man, who would ever do that? Well, that's who. People who don't get out or don't want to get out.
If your identity is stolen, we'll work to fix it. Backed by the LifeLock $1 Million Protection Package. Spend more time on holiday fun, not identity worries. Save
I saw a video on Twitter. Again, I would need to look more into it to look at all the science behind it and all that. But they were talking about an iron anvil floating in mercury, liquid mercury, because of how dense it is. And I'm like, damn, I know it's dangerous, but what's up with mercury, you know? Because that video, it shows him pushing the iron anvil down and it being pushed right back up to the surface because of how dense the mercury is. It's kind of crazy how much shit there is that exists that we just don't know about. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck is mercury, you know?
As you are, I'm sure. It feels like just the right place.
Get more than money from your bank. Welcome to Huntington.
Speaking of mercury,
For true stories.
now this is gonna be a weird jump, but when I thought of mercury, I thought of chrome, and the chrome I'm talking about is the color chrome. And then I thought about customizing vehicles in Grand Theft Auto 5 to make the cars chrome, and that made me go, hey, what do we all think about customization? Like, I brought this up before, but I'm gonna bring it up time and time again when it comes up in my mind, because it's something that I'm thinking about. Like, what kind of vehicle customization are we gonna get for Grand Theft Auto 6? What kind of vehicle, like, not just cars or Jeeps or trucks, but like the whole shebang, the whole amount of what's the word I'm looking for? I hate when that happens, I really do. I got distracted because I read what you said, and my brain was like, oh, talk about the delivery stuff. Because, yeah, it was just starting up. It was just starting up. And then it exploded in popularity. Oh, customization for vehicles. Thank you. Yeah, no, you sat there and you're going, all right, I can customize a car, but you can't really customize boats, planes, or helicopters. Why not? Allow me to trick out my vehicles, all of my vehicles. You couldn't really fuck with bikes, could you? Can you fuck with bikes? Also, look at the online of the Grand Theft Auto game, because I bet you the online of the Grand Theft Auto game is going to be something that we'll see quite a few mechanics from that into Grand Theft Auto 6. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because I think the story will give us more options, right? It better give us more options, because at the end of the day, that's not going to prevent... Having the same things in offline that you can do online isn't going to change the amount of people that go play the game online. Because when you really break down what Grand Theft Auto Online is it's a DLC machine. Because you are getting, no matter what people say, you are getting story elements in some way, shape, or form that are revolving around Grand Theft Auto 5. It's actually pretty slick what they did. Because this is free DLC that you can choose to pay for. This is the first time, like, if you really think about it, we've gotten something like this in this way. Now, what I mean is DLC that you choose to pay for is they give you this update, you play this update, and you can grind out jobs for it. You can spend time in it, right? Which is still good in some way, shape, or form for whatever reason. Or you could drop $100, get a shark card, get the money that you need to buy the new content instead of grind for it, and then bada bing, bada boom, you're in. That's an interesting concept to me. And if you did something like add half the shit you have from online into single player, you would still have people that would go to the online, because the reason they're going to the online to spend the time and effort into it is to have the interaction that they're having. Why they're doing the online. Like, now mind you, I do some of the online for chill purposes, like where like this week I'm probably like gonna just deliver shit. Deliver cars, well, take cars specifically, then deliver them. See how much money I get. Probably do some Fallout, Fortnite, jeez. Do some Fortnite off stream with Hayoku Kitty and you, Relatives, and anybody else who's wanting to chill. My shit for Epic is King Tombs 456. I don't know if there's any other numbers and shit like that, but if I'm playing that game, I'll probably be up for squadding up, or trios, or duos, or what have you. Otherwise, I'll be playing relatively solo. And that's how some people are when it comes to certain games. Some people will get... Now, I'm gonna say this, even though I'm not saying to do this, because from what I've heard, it's not a good game. But when people picked up the new Call of Duty game, Modern Warfare... Is it Modern Warfare 3? When they picked up that game, half of them picked it up because of multiplayer, the other half picked it up because of the story, and some people picked it up for zombies and shit like that, and apparently, the whole fucking game's a heaping pile of shit. But yeah, I definitely... The way that I'm doing the online is very casually, kind of like one of those types of things where it's going to be a mainstay until I'm ready to play something else. All right. And I like the online. And I had fun going through the content, don't get me wrong. But the online's definitely not something that I could see myself sticking with for too much. Oh, wow. Yeah, that you'll have some people that are like that. There's only a handful of games that I really log into on a daily basis. And sometimes that's all I do is log in to get the daily aspect done and then go from there. And there are some games that I have playing in the background, but I'm not actually playing them. All I'm doing is having like multiple things going on to do the daily type things, because there are some games where you have to do objectives to complete the dailies. I don't do that with every game that I have ever played. Like, there's a handful of games that I could think of off the top of my head where I'm like, yeah, I ain't playing this game every day. I'll play it every once in a while. Like, there'll be certain games. Like, a couple months back, I was really, every single day I was playing a mobile game called Day R Survival, right? Every single day I was playing it. And now I haven't touched it for, like, weeks straight. That happens sometimes. I'll really get into a game for a little while, play it and play it and play it, and then just, like, not get bored of it, but be like, alright, I'm done with this game for right now. I've got other games I want to play. I did play a little bit. I made a new character for think of the name. I made a new character for Path of Exile, just to check that out and see if I was going to dive into Path of Exile any. And while I did like the build that's starting to come along, because I was doing a witch magic build, I think the first time I like get back into it and play it on stream will be when I play it the most, because I played it for a bit, didn't really check out any of the new content, but realized that the new content is pretty disassociated from everything else, and I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna let Path of Exile cook a little bit before I dive on into the game again. True, when they become a chore instead of fun. Exactly. And all the games that I keep logging into, I'm not logging into them because I find them a chore. I'm logging into them because I will play them. It's just I might not want to play them every single day, if that makes any sense, right? Just like, as much as I like Minecraft, I can't see myself playing this game every single day. But I can see myself playing it every single Monday and using it as a means to have conversations like this with the chat, right? This also is probably going to be one of the longer Minecraft streams in recent history, because we had a lot to go over, really, right? We're still not technically done, because all I've really went over is how I'll be playing Red Dead Redemption after Grand Theft Auto 5, and that's really it. I haven't gone into any detail about, like, what my thoughts are before I even start playing Red Dead Redemption.
You love listening to your favorite artists.
Right? There's a part of me that is, of course, hesitant, because it's, like, the story at the end of the day doesn't matter, because there's nothing we can do to change what happens. Right? I'm one of those types of people that likes when a game has multiple endings, or multiple ways to tell a story. That allows you to go back and play it again, to play it in a different way, to get something different, right? But it's hard for me to think that when it comes to Red Dead Redemption 2, because no matter what ending we get, if there are multiple endings, certain characters' fates are set in stone, no matter what we do. Right?
save you from identity.
So it's one of those things where
The day she's my little guardian angel.
I don't care if we go back in time. I don't, like, not back in time, but I don't care if we take a step back or something like that
More shopping, more connecting online, and more
in order to tell a different story or something like that. The next Red Dead Redemption doesn't have to follow the exact story of the storyline of the current Red Dead Redemption. Mind you, I would be disappointed if, you know, they did go back in the past to tell a different story. I kind of would be interested to see what's going on with John's son, you know? Because at the time that the events of Red Dead Redemption 1 occur, you're getting into a character that's like the Wild West is really no longer going to exist within a couple years' time, you know what I mean? So it would be interesting to... What in the fuck was that? What in the fuck was that? That better not have been what I think it was. That better not have been a fucking super creeper at 1:18 in the morning blowing up half my fucking walls. What the fuck was that? I'm very frustrated right now from that. Because I've got to go get the wood now. I've got to go replace all the stone that I put down with the wood. I've got to get dirt. I think I have dirt to fill this bullshit in. I gotta get the fence parts now to replace that. The fuck did you blow up over here for? Let me open the next fucking document for what we're gonna be talking about next Monday. Oh, that's so aggravating. What will it be? 24th? No, dumbass. 20th. 11, 20, 23. And one of the first things we're going to be doing is fixing the farm creeper explosion. Alright. Yeah, that's true too, right? That's one of the things where I think with Grand Theft Auto 6, I'm gonna do something I never used to do, because back when I would play online, I did have people I could play with, and I did play with them, but for the most part, I would play with just randos. And I would very rarely, if ever, talk, because no matter what, they would never listen to you, because whatever your thought is wrong, even though you know the basic concepts of the game that you're playing and are like, yo, dude, you need to do this to win. Fuck you. Alright, good talk. Great talk. But now it's a lot easier to turn those randos into individuals that you keep gaming with. because of how the way they group, or the way you can group people. Discord really helps, being able to be like, yo, what's your Discord? Let's continue this game, and keep talking through Discord and shit like that, right? Even in games, it's easier to chat more. But it's also like, well, people do enjoy that. There are sometimes that people want to be able to just sit back and go through a game without having one more. Should be fine. Sit back and enjoy a game without having to go online and interact with people. Because sometimes you don't want to interact with people. Sometimes you want to just sit back and fucking chill. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of the reasons why I don't know if I'll ever have a mega build like this open up to the public in that way. Because this is like, I view the start of the streams on Monday as a way to, like, just chill, decompress, do whatever the fuck I feel like in a game that is as open as Minecraft is, with certain goals in mind, and then go from there, right? And one of my things is I love being a variety streamer, because while I understand there are people that know a specific game and will play that specific game because that's what they know, I like branching out and reaching out of my comfort zone. Shit. I just dropped my bow. Pick it up. I'm panicking. Because that gets to possibly open you up to new conversations. What the fuck? How did that happen? How? So, like, a game I played a couple years back, Control. If we were to get a second Control game announced, I would definitely play Control 1. Alan Wake, which is made by Remedy as well, and sort of, I think, is in the same universe, I would be interested to play, but it's not on, for some reason, I guess I'm not the biggest fan of horror. And the reason it's not that I'm the biggest fan of horror is that I really enjoy horror, and that's why I'm hesitant to play anything horror related, because it's gonna be hard to please me for how horror is, right? Because a lot of horror preys off of, like, what I would consider cheap thrills and, like, jump scares and stuff like that. Fuck, that's so aggravating. I'm not doing that right now, though. We'll let this go for a little while. I can clean up my inventory, and then when I'll come back, maybe I'll make the bricks and stuff like that? I don't know. Actually, what the hell do I need over here in order for... I just realized something. Whoops. Whoops. I need to make the light posts soon enough. I don't know exactly what the light posts are going to look like, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, which is 7. So, okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there. Bitch. Now here's my thing. What in the hell? are the possibilities from these clerics? Because I thought we were going to be getting, like, a potion. Is it when they're masters, they give us a potion or something like that? Interesting. Oh, you know what I should do? I should clear out that while I talk about a couple more things before wrapping up with Minecraft for the evening. Yeah. That's how some people are, unfortunately. You really do have to set up groups if you want to get shit done like that. Oh. I am going to try and play some more Apex. It's hard for me to play Apex Legends off stream, even though I have admitted I would play it off stream. It's very difficult for me too, because I play it, and like, I'll win a game and like, I'll kind of enjoy it, but at the same time, as I'm playing it, there's just this bitter feeling I feel. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to try to get into playing a little bit of Apex to see if it's a game that I want to add to the... It's tentatively on the list already, right? But when I say the list is, I might change the way that, like, Let It Die and Apex Legends are viewed. We'll see. I have to... I'm debating, right? Because it's technically a game I refuse to play, but if that's the case, there's a couple of games on that I refuse to play this game that I would play in the right circumstances, so I gotta come up with the right circumstance as to what would it take for me to play a certain amount of time in certain games on stream.
Save on the best activewear brands. If you're also thinking, but my yoga mat is kind of embarrassing, Sierra says, yoga mats for...
And that's fine, right? The mechanics are whatever you want them to be, right? It's there's a select number of things that, like, rules that you abide by, right? You learn how the AI interacts, and you could figure out certain things like this, how things spawn and how things work affects why this works, and how I can sit here all day and all day things will spawn in that I could kill and get the loot from, right? But that comes with just playing the game. You could get a little bit of knowledge when watching a game, but that knowledge is pretty much useless until you start playing it yourself, because as soon as you start playing it, you can go, oh, I remember watching this person do this, so that must mean if I do it like this, it'll work for me. You have the content, but you don't have the context. When you have the context, that's when you can put a lot more value onto the content that you're consuming. Exactly. It's because of the way it's programmed, right? The fact that this motherfucker has been in this boat for possibly a year at this point, I don't know, but this motherfucker right here has been in this boat for a long time. And I've moved around a lot. But when I come back, if I were to leave, I guarantee you that bastard will still be in that boat. Oh, my dude? No, my dude is green and sad looking because he's an orc. He's not sad looking. Those are tusks right there. And this is his serious face, right? Oh. No. Those individuals are called creepers, and they are designed to basically be jump scare in a bottle. And what I mean by that is, if you're not paying attention, one will sneak up behind you, blow up, and kill you. Alright? Shit. Shit. Anyway. There'll be times I'll be doing something and a creeper would just show up behind me and blow me up. That's one of the reasons why I don't try and stay out late in this game anymore, because it's so much more convenient to just not have to worry about any of the bullshit, you know? Well, the way that it works is the AI has it to where the individual in question will automatically enter the boat. It's not that they're entering it, it's just that the way their AI works is they're interacting with it. And when they interact with it, they get inside it. And when they're inside it, they can't get out of it. Unless you destroy the boat. It's one of the reasons why you could move villagers across land in a boat, because they're not programmed to be able to interact the same way to get out of a thing, right? Like, they can't interact with fencing. That's why I try and put up fencing the way that I do, in order to make it feel like they have the freedom that they don't, right? Because it makes me mentally feel better. Even though what's happening is, like, if you break it down to its base components, is fucked up, right? But I can also break it down in the components that are like, hey, look at it this way. It's for their own safety, right? Because these villagers... Ah, fuck, I need some stairs. That motherfucker. That motherfucker! Because if I were to let them just roam free, they would get hurt. Like, look what happened when a creeper went off, man. And it's lucky I had the thing set up the way that I did, otherwise they would have fucking perished. But that's what I like doing. I like understanding that, yes, this is a video game and this is how it works and this is how I could take advantage of the mechanics, while also appreciating it for what it is trying to do, be it tell a story or invoke certain emotions, right? Like, when I play a game, if there are moments where I'm gonna get teary-eyed or choked up, I'm not gonna hide away from that. I'm gonna be like, man, that's invoking some emotions. Or if I'm gonna laugh, I'm gonna laugh if I find something funny. I'll explain why I find it funny, and it might not make sense to some people. But now that I've kind of had, like, a quote-unquote epiphany about internalizing, like, internal thoughts and verbalizing those internal thoughts, and how there's not really a time limit on it, because a lot of the time I've stayed quiet when I've had a certain series of thoughts. So instead of saying, oh, I thought this is why I did what I did, I'll just be like, yeah, I'm not gonna explain that. Now I just say fuck it and explain it anyways, because I want to do that, if that makes any sense. Yeah, that was a little bit of a waste, but I don't care. But yeah, for me, I'm on the mind of, if you're gonna use an AI thing, yeah, whatever, sure, use that AI thing. If it's gonna help you inspire you to do something, make a character, all right, whatever. But as soon as you create something with AI and then try and take that AI and say, I did this myself with my own two hands, that's where I view the problem starting to arise, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. I gotta play Dwarf Fortress at some point, and Terra Invicta again, because there's some shit I want to try and pull off in those games. Dwarf Fortress, I would be able to pull off some crazy shenanigans because of my previous experience with Dwarf Fortress, right? Like, I'd be able to do some shit that might make some people go, wow, what the fuck? Just because of how much experience I have in that game. I know what not to do when a dragon comes by. That's how I lost a fort that was filled with over 200 dwarves. Okay. But yeah, games like Evil Genius. I'm assuming Evil Genius is like you're running a base like a dungeon keeper type thing. I don't know how to explain it, but basically you are the dungeon that the heroes try to enter, and you have like dungeon keeper. Yeah, sort of like that. I really like those types of games because it gives you this idea of like it's a unique type of concept where you're playing as the big bad. Yeah, base builder type games. It's why Dwarf Fortress. It's why I enjoy Dwarf Fortress. Well, the Metal Gear franchise is my favorite franchise. My favorite individual game of all time is Dwarf Fortress. That's my favorite individual game of all time because of how Dwarf Fortress has more available for you to do than even Minecraft, right? And that is a bold claim, I understand that, but when you start looking into Dwarf Fortress and playing the game, you'll start to understand what I'm talking about. Mind you, it is kind of there is quite the learning curve when it comes to Dwarf Fortress, but it is definitely a fun experience once you start to get the controls down and the mechanics and stuff like that. It takes a minute. It takes a minute to get it, but once you get it, you really get it. Because it's like, oh. But what's hilarious is, for individuals out there that have ever played the Sims franchise, those are the individuals that would enjoy it the most. Hey, greetings and good day, Hans. How are you doing today? Doing well. I have been logging into Enlisted every single day and playing it. At least a little bit. I haven't played it every day, but I've been logging into Enlisted every single day to at least get the dailies. I think I'm almost at like day 300 or some shit. I've almost got a full year under my belt. I also bought the Battle Pass last season. Because I was like, you know what? Yeah. I enjoy this game enough to where I can do that now. Oh, no, of course not. It's... I have two lists of video games. I have what I call a short list and a long list, right? The short list of video games are like... There's a couple of different variations of it, but the primary way to word it is like this. Any game that's on the short list is a game that I'm going to play as soon as possible. Games on the short list: Red Dead Redemption 2, Fallout, Fallout 2, Fallout 3, and so on and so forth, right? Yeah. It's fun. Enlisted's fun. I've been having a good time playing it too. I will say there's been some moments, right? I can't help myself sometimes because it's just like right? We have a new emergency controller, by the way. And the reason this is a new emergency controller is because we got a new controller. This one had stick drift to the point to where it was starting to affect whether or not I would be able to do certain actions in certain games. And it got into the status of being a emergency controller. My current emergency controller is... Whoops. My current emergency controller is now in the box. If you don't know what the box is, you're not going to for quite a while. I mean, you can look at it like that, but I look at it like this. I look at it as a good event type game, right? Like just how like Grand Theft Auto is a good way to play a video game to vent any frustrations you have in a safe and manageable way. enlisted as a nice way to be like, I'm gonna sit down and play some games. But sometimes the people that I'm with feel so fucking stupid. It's like, fucking use your head. Exactly.
In fact, people living with obesity have an increased risk of developing heart disease, which can lead to heart attack or stroke.
Yeah, I don't. Like I say, I'm a big proponent of not getting violent towards other people or other sentient beings, be it an animal or whatever. Don't get violent towards that kind of shit. But if you want to get violent to a piece of technology that doesn't exist, I think that what doesn't not that it doesn't exist, that it doesn't work. That's what I meant to say. You're not hurting anything. The only thing you're technically hurting is yourself because of your pocket, your wallet. You know what I mean? And even at the end of the day, if it doesn't work in the first place, it doesn't matter. You could spend money to get it fixed, but at that point, you're starting to delay the inevitable. Now, here's what's funny. I'm a unique type of American, as you say, because I don't destroy shit. I don't care how much money I'm bringing in the future, if any. I will never destroy a piece of technology that still works. I just the way that I was raised will not allow me to do it. Right? It's one of those things where no matter what, I don't care how much money someone would offer me, I wouldn't take it to like bend or rip up a Yu-Gi-Oh card or Pokemon card. Not that I do card openings, and not that I intend to do card openings. But for example, if I ever got a wild hair up my ass and was like, let's do some card openings, I'm not going to accept any money to do that. Regardless of how much it is, and regardless of whether it's worth it or not, based off RNG, it just doesn't feel, it feels like weird to even think of a concept of doing something like that to me. Also, what you said, the second part there, Insane Baboon, I'm like I say, if it doesn't actually bring harm to anybody, like if I'm gonna play a video game and throw a grenade at a bunch of cars, that's not gonna hurt anybody in real life. So why the fuck do people actually give a shit about, you know, how violent a video game is? Because that's yeah, exactly. Well, again, like I said, it's you don't have to have a gun to go postal. It's just that having a gun makes going postal a bit easier to do. It's a more efficient thing than a knife or something like that. Yeah, I mean, why do you think this controller's an emergency controller? It's got fucking stick drift. That was basically it signing its own execution papers at that point. But yeah, real talk, I've been breaking down what... Because I put 2 video games on trial to where I said I will never play them on stream again. And I almost want to expand it and say I'll never willingly play those games on stream again. Because I'm starting to think like, yeah, I could see myself playing these games again if somebody was like, hey, here's X amount of bits or X amount of money, play this game for X amount of time. Right? I mean, I have that for that one game that I don't like talking about because of what it was. It's one of the reasons why I can't really ever talk about Konami positively, because they decided to release that fucking crash, heat grab of a tragedy. But yeah, I know there are people that would be entertained by having me do something I don't want to do. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll give people the opportunity to do that if they really, really wanted to and had the means to do so, and it wasn't going to, you know, put them in a shit situation. Go ahead. Spend money to make me play a game I don't want to play. I'll bitch at you the entire time for doing it. Mind you, I haven't really set... I've like only tentatively set stuff up because I'm still planning out how exactly I want it to work. I need to do some stuff off stream in order to cement the idea. but that's kind of one of the things that I'm thinking about. I'm also thinking about adding different sound alerts as well. I'm not going to say what the sound alerts are going to be for, but I'm going to try to come up with different, like, if people were to drop X number of bits or X amount for a tip, then this type of sound alert would play. I've been very lazy with my alerts, and to me, it's one of those things that's like not really that big of a deal, but I kind of want to have a certain amount of knowledge. So like if I'm not paying attention, I hear a certain sound effect, I want to be like, oh shit, I know what that is. Because right now it's all the same sound effect. Well, it's not that I accidentally mention it, it's that I have to mention it so people know what game I'm talking about, but I hate doing it because it's like... We might react to a couple of reviews of this game later, but realistically, I'm going to be out straight up for you. It's Metal Gear Survive. Fucking... I hate that. I hate saying that because it's not a Metal Gear game. It's the farthest thing from a Metal Gear game. It uses the fucking skin of a Metal Gear game to try and be a cash grab. Fucking $10 for a second save slot. Are you fucking kidding me? That's one of the reasons why I've been like, I'm excited for Metal Gear remakes, but there's a part of me that's also jaded from what the fuck they did with the Metal Gear franchise. I have a rule. If you want me to play that game for an hour of gameplay, right? Like, I'll put the timer on, and I'll start the game, and as soon as the game starts, the timer starts. If you want me to play that game for an hour, it's 25,000 bits per hour or a $2.50 tip. And yes, that is the truth. That is the true. The reason being is because there are games that I refuse to want to play, but I know there are people that exist that would want to make me suffer. And that is how much my suffering will cost you. At least from my current perspective. That might be subject to change, or hell, maybe it'll cause a situation where, again, this is hypothetical shit. You do it right now, it ain't gonna happen. But maybe in the future, if I haven't mentioned for a while, and all of a sudden out comes somebody that's like, hey, guess what, you have to play now. That's right, play this for an hour. Something might happen to temporarily reduce the price per hour. Hey, I view it as something like that, right? Because I view that as something almost similar to how people would view selling out. I really don't want to play those games. I truly do not. But I know there are people that would want to see my reactions to something that I really don't want to do. And why I don't want to play those games. Right? So I had a real thought about it, and I was like, alright, realistically, what would convince me to play these games? And that's why I'm kind of breaking it down, because I don't want to. But the only reason I'm playing Apex Legends at all, even off stream, is because Relatives was hyping it up and they're enjoying it, and I'm over here going, I kind of want to play more games with people, right? I want to start co-oping, because I've never really had the desire to do that, but now I'm starting to get the desire to play with more people and interact with more people and stuff like that. Like, it's getting to the point where I'm even starting to use my microphone whenever this is from a habit. I do not use my microphone that much, more from habitual reasons than not, because I never really used to have a microphone. I only used to have headphones at best. But now that I have a microphone, I can use it, so I'm going to start using it more often in multiplayer situations. Also, I am an online male entertainer, so it's just my pay's subject to change based on, you know, what people think I deserve for the time that they've enjoyed it for. Or less so that, and more so what they can tip to people for what they're getting, you know? What kind of a meal am I serving you? Am I serving you a meal that you feel is worth this type of a tip or this type of a tip? And the best part about it is, you don't have to tip. if you're chilling and enjoying your time here, that's good enough for me. Of course, like I always say, the tip is always appreciated, but it's not mandatory. All I'll say is I might bring that up every once in a while, more so than I used to, because regardless of the fact that it's not mandatory, whenever I do get more subscribers and more tips and stuff like that, that makes it to where I could make more improvements upon the stream itself, right? I get enough money and then I'll be able to get a new SSD, extra RAM, graphics card update. Like that's what I'm eventually going to be looking for getting. Exactly. I get that. I actually got that from another individual because I heard it for the first time and I fucking started cracking up and I'm like, it's so true. And the best part is, it's my go-to eventually when like people start asking me. That's what my go-to description is going to be: an online male entertainer. I'm male and I entertain people online in the literal sense, not in the metaphorical sense that a lot of people are thinking of right now, because get your head out of the gutter, you degenerates. Degenerates like... It's funny, I've never played the game, but I know this line: degenerates like you belong on a cross. I know that line from Fallout New Vegas, but I have the content, but I don't have the context. I cannot wait to get the context.
And earn $300. Want an easy way to send and receive money? Excellent, because everything checking lets you send money with Zelle.
You know what's amazing about sending money over the internet?
Get everything checking, earn $300, and get
They have shit set up in such a way that it's so, like, it's so wild how they set up money transfer stuff. Oh yeah. Like I said, I appreciate that, right? I still, that was a historical event, because that might have happened somewhat similar, but that was the most lengthy at the very least. I think that was truly the first bit war we ever had on stream. Oh, again, if you can, that would be very much appreciated, but again, make sure you can take care of yourselves before you try and take care of some random person on the internet. The biggest thing, though, is, like I say, like I'm gonna start saying it because I've sat back and I thought about stuff and I'm like, man, I'm pretty bad too. Like if I go to a YouTube channel, it's hard for me to remember to follow them or subscribe to them and catch their other videos, even if I want to, because of how much shit I got going on. So I'm gonna try and start reminding people more, but it's hard for me to myself to remember. True, it will be. I will be streaming on Christmas Day too for a little bit, at least an hour, just to chill and just to talk. Whether or not I'll wait, when is Christmas? I know when it is. Shut up. I meant like day. It's on a Monday. That fits fucking perfectly. We can just play Minecraft for a couple of hours. That's awesome. That works great. I'm like at a loss of what exactly I'm wanting to do, because I'm like, I don't have anything else to do. Wow, this has been the longest Minecraft session we've had in quite some time. The session so far has been 3.5 hours. We've probably been going with today's episode of Minecraft for like 3 hours and 10 minutes. But like right now, I don't really have that much of a desire to do anything else. I know what I have to do, in quotation marks, but it's just that doing it is something that's frustrating me because of how time consuming it is, but I have to like bite the bullet and be like, screw it, just do it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this over here, so when I do fix that, I'll have all the gear that I need. Exactly, and that's why I don't really post that much on Twitter, Like, if I ever post on Twitter, it's just a random thought, or it's me liking a tweet or retweeting something or some shit like that. I rarely use social media like that because that's just how I am. I don't really advertise when a new video goes up on YouTube, other than I try to get a video up every single day that I can for the streams, because I do have a lot of fucking live stream content, right? And I'm also trying to edit more so I can upload videos to the main YouTube, right? And I'm going to break stuff down in such a way to where in the future you're gonna start, like, when I'm playing the new Grand Theft Auto game, those videos are gonna go up before, like, I'm probably gonna have two different types of videos: current content videos going up and old content videos. The old content videos will take a long time to get up, but the new content will be quicker, at least until I get stuff set up into a way to where I could get. And there's a reason I don't have an editor yet, a very specific reason. I'm not going to get into that right now. But long story short, you know what, fuck it, I'll put this all away to where it goes instead of dumping it. Long story short, I just don't have the current desire or means to have an editor. I don't have a Facebook, I don't have any of that shit. Basically, the only time you're gonna see, like, King Tombs 456 on TikTok is if I ever hire somebody to manage a TikTok for my channel. Because I'm too old for that shit. I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth, but I 100% mean that. Not in the way that I'm too old, but in the way that I'm just too old for TikTok. I don't get it. I don't get TikTok. I'll see, like, a TikTok video and I'll be like, yeah, I don't get it. Trying to think if there's any other conversation I can really talk about outside of, like, the shit that I've already talked about, which primarily involved how hype I am for I am hyped for Grand Theft Auto 6. But I almost wish everybody else would be less hype, you know what I mean? Also, this is Terraria music mixed with something else. This is like nighttime Terraria music mixed with something else. Yeah, I know about Slack. I'm old enough to know about fucking... I can't think of the name right now. MySpace. I know about fucking MySpace. I'm waiting for somebody to go, what the fuck is that? And that's the point I'm trying to make right there. If any of you thought, what the fuck is MySpace? Yeah. We can do a couple more, actually. Well, that's the thing. That was the first of its kind. Of course it was, because it was new. Nobody knew shit about shit when it came to shit like that. You know what I mean? That's what's so fucking impressive about shit like this. Because as time progressed, we learned more and more about the way that to make things better with quality of life or what have you. And that's how you go from look at Grand Theft Auto 3 and compare that to Grand Theft Auto 5, and there is no fucking comparison, right? It's just because we've learned more over time and we're implementing that knowledge in such a way to make things more convenient and overall better. or what can be perceived as better than previously. Like, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot more aspects in Grand Theft Auto 6 that will be slightly improved upon. Mind you, there's always going to be something that's like, oh, this is horrible, this is bad, right? I'm waiting for the next go to bed, wake up, and for the wrap up, because I always like being able to start the day in Minecraft instead of end the day and then like have to stop what I'm doing or what I'm wanting to do. So like tomorrow, as soon as I start, or not tomorrow, but next Monday, as soon as I start the stream for Minecraft, I know I'm going to be fixing the farmhouse, right? Anyway, you want to know what's funny? What I used to do back in high school? I would get bags of Jolly Ranchers and shit like that. I was basically the stock market. If people were interested in shit, I'd have it. Because here's what would happen. I was a little bit aware of the concept of a stock market early on in my life, like really early on in my life. I would get a whole bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards because that was starting to become a thing. I'd hold on to them, and then people would start to want to buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards, right? So I would sell my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Candy. People wanted candy. I'd pick up a bag of candy and sell Jolly Ranchers for 50 cents a pop. Eventually, the school made an announcement, and they said that you could no longer do that because you would get in trouble, and then they made vending machines and shit like that, and I was so upset because it's like, oh, I'm not allowed to do it, but you are? Fuck you, high school. Jackasses. The man always trying to... Hold on, I can actually do this. The man always trying to keep you down. Anyway. Outside of the tinfoil hat joke, weird way to wrap it up, but I think that is a good spot to wrap it up. I'll be keeping my ears open for any new information when it comes to anything revolving around Grand Theft Auto or any other games. Oh, apparently something else. They showed a teaser for a new Mass Effect game. I don't know if anyone gives a shit about that, because I kind of don't. Because at this point, it's starting to get to the point to where it's like, okay, we know you're working on it. All you have to do is say, we're working on it. Literally, just say that. Don't have a teaser that's not going to have any relevancy in 10 years from now. It's kind of why I'm a little bit upset that Grand Theft Auto leaked. Because compare what Elder Scrolls did to what Grand Theft Auto's doing. Elder Scrolls, quite a few years back, had like a 20-second teaser, and that was it. No information since then. Grand Theft Auto has told us nothing. We had a leak that occurred to show that it existed, and everyone's hyping it up because we know it exists. And everyone's coming to conclusions based off of nothing. Like they would if the game wasn't announced in the first place. Like, oh, what do you think XCOM 3 is going to be like? XCOM 3 could be in the middle of being produced, and I don't know it. And there's no leak that tells me that information. But I'm bringing that up where it is highly doubtful that that is the case. I'm bringing that up because you can make any speculation you want at any point about what a game is going to be like in the future. But just like with an incomplete product that they're working on, does not necessarily mean that that will be how it is when it's finally finished. You know? Anyways, with that, I'm going to wrap up here for you, YouTube and Twitch highlight watchers. If you're currently watching live, stick around. We're going to find some stuff to react to after I step away to get myself a thing of water, go to the restroom and all that. So I'll probably be a couple of minutes away. Anyways, if you're new here and you haven't already, be sure to become a citizen today via subscribing to this channel, as well as my main channel. If you're watching on YouTube, links will be down in the description below to all my links, exclamation point links like so. If you're watching on Twitch, be it live, the highlight, or the VOD, well, it's still up there. Be sure to follow me on Twitch. Catch me when I go live at 6 p.m. EST EDT Friday through Monday. Invite link to the community Discord where you can always get the most accurate notifications of whenever I do go live. If I'm going to be a little bit late or early to stream outside of a half hour, or as long as I know I'm going to be late, as well as whatever else catches your fancy through all my links. Until next time, take care, and have yourselves a good one.